You are going live. Ta-da!
All right.
We have tested. I've no idea what you mean.
The audio is going to be awful right now. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Right. Need that to be like there. Probably. I'll leave that open. Now would be a good time to insert. It sure would. There's going to be horrifying echoes. It's going to be hideous. Right. Okay, right. Kill that one. Okay, there we go. Right. Hello, everyone. I'm not saying that I screwed up, but there was a problem with the microphones. Right, your coffee's in the kitchen.
Yes.
It'll probably, so yeah. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Right, we're here. It's okay. Today was supposed to be easy, and then I'm like, I forgot the mics again. How is this possible? And you were like, that's great. We'll just go home. We'll just go to your place and get them. We've got 15 minutes. That's loads of time.
Yes.
And so we got the mics. They were just, the batteries were flat on all of them because I've left them in the bag for 2 weeks without charging them. So now we have flat batteries in the mics. So I've been trying to set up the condenser mic as a backup mic, and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work. So, right. I want to do a quick test. So
It's fine. At some point during the stream, you'll just end up.
Yeah.
Hello. We're in the customer complaint wall again.
Right. Let's test customer complaints mic. So I'll mute my mic. Right. Now I need to make this mic work for me. Or for whoever is sitting over here. This needs... Okay. The problem is if I turn up the gain on this one enough that it's actually here, it'll pick up everything. What if I just put a hilarious amount of gain on it? Right.
Oh.
Okay. Now I'm still too quiet in that mic. Yeah, that's not going to work. Oh, that was 30 decibels for a moment there. So that's not what I wanted. Right, whoever's using this mic will just need to be that into the table.
Okay.
And they will not be able to also. Okay, right, I'm moving it. Wait, I've got on. Okay, right. I'm moving this one because this is ridiculous.
I'm muting the one you're moving.
Right. Whoever's using the backup mic has to sit at this end of the desk.
And has to use it, you know, like all of the people do on the videos, like this.
Yeah.
Hello, I am talking into this microphone now. I am making sure that there is no echo. It's also muted, so don't worry.
It's true.
This stand is very not standing. Stay. There we go.
All right. Okay, I've muted you and unmuted that. So say some words.
Hello, these are some words.
Really? Okay, say some more words.
Hello, these are some words.
Okay, that's still really low. Normally we get way more. Okay, how's that? Okay, we're doing that then. Let's do... Okay, it's going to be significantly more... Okay, now it's just picking up me as well from over here because it's... Okay, that's way too... Right, hold on. Okay, right. Say some words again, Caradog.
Hello, these are some words.
Not that close. You don't need to be that close to it.
Hello.
Okay, that's kind of workable. If I dial in just a little bit of gain on that now, this will mean that basically you can be on the USB mic while I have a wireless mic. All right, say some more words.
Hello.
Okay, I get that. That's workable. All right. Still dreadful. Well, yeah, it is a side addressed mic. Yes. Right. Where is
It's
the
very much not 10. No.
No, yeah. Okay. Right. We're on the wireless mics until the batteries fail, and that's our backup.
I see. I question the quality of your equipment.
Well, it's a full extension. It's not supposed to be used like that.
There we go.
Okay. Right. Okay. See, you know what else I thought of just as we were driving away when I thought of the flat batteries? I was like, well, I've got a couple of power banks at home, so we can just have power banks in our pocket powering the mics, which solves this problem.
Yes.
However, they're at home.
Yes.
Right, we're rebuilding this computer today, everyone. Welcome to the show. How are we all doing? All my power banks at home because I don't need power banks in here because I have power supplies everywhere. So I'm frustrated. I don't know how it's such a simple issue and all of the solutions are not where I need them to be. So, right, there are other hysterical solutions that we can do, but I'll hold on to those until the moment arrives. Because like we've got Type-C chargers in here, so we could just have Type-C mains chargers connected to them. We just have to stand near the wall kind of thing. That's actually a solution to this problem. Right.
It's basically a case of just standing there like this.
I just no.
Hello.
We've got to do the content. We've got to do the things.
I am the content.
Long USB to it then. Oh, that's doable actually. Whatever. Let's do the show. Let's do the show until the batteries run out, and we'll solve the problem as we get to it. Okay, right. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Welcome in, everyone. That's it. Right. What are we doing today? Today we are rebuilding this. So we've got this is the shop PC. We rebuilt this into this Corsair 220T. Not that long. Well, actually, it was quite a while ago now. I think, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's now it's in the Corsair 220T. Right. So the plan is what I want is I want to build a shop gaming PC server. And I want to put it in the window because if I'm going to have a PC that's in here turned on and running all the time, I want it to be a display piece in the window with RGB on it. So at least while it's sitting there being turned on 24/7, at least it looks pretty kind of thing. And this is the perfect case to do that in because it's RGB'd up. And it's not a case that I intend to sell. So I want to do it in this one. So I want to take all of the YouTube recording rig stuff out of here and put it into another Corsair case that I have, and that will make this case free. And then we can put the components in here that's going to be for the gaming rig. Shop Minecraft server, yeah, potentially. That's the plan. So, are you sure you don't need power banks at work? Well, I've got chargers for that. You've got chargers. So, yes. Anyway, so...
It's also, I feel, far less of a faff than you think it is. I think that's most of the problem. Just all of this.
I guess.
Because we have the, 3-meter USB cable. We have devices with USB-A ports on. It's fine.
You're fine.
I am. I am entirely good.
All right.
Anyway.
We cry on the inside. When's the microscope video coming out? This week. I'm going to edit it this weekend. I didn't do it for... sorry, this week. Yeah, coming week. I didn't do it for this week ending video just because I wanted to get the voltage injection video out the door. So that got done instead. So, yes. So, yeah. That's it. Cool. So, let's start taking this apart, shall we? While we speak and stuff. Since we're going to lay it on its side, I'm going to put a mat on the desk. Oh, could you oblige? Thanks. Oh. Right, I guess we'll get the bench cam vaguely set up as well, so people can see what we're doing while we hang out.
Indeed.
Let's put that to maximum height so it can peer down and people can judge. It's going to come down at a funny angle. We're going to go for the Dutch angle cam today.
Everything's just off at like...
Kids PC video is soon. It's always soon. Super voltage injection video. Thanks, Yate. I was, yeah, I really wanted that video to come out properly, so I'm glad to finally get it done. Because, yeah, that's been one that's, that's not live, don't worry. That's been one that's in the works for a while now. So yes, I am glad that is sorted. And yeah, it ended up coming out good. So yes, this is a Corsair 220T, yeah. So let me just quickly see face cam with bench, Insta360. He says, immediately breaking something. Oh, why did we just lose that? Oh, that was weird. Activate. There we go. Okay, right. That'll do. I think I can make that work. It's a bit of a Dutch angle, but it's workable. All right, that'll do. There's the bench cam. So you can see us taking things out of the thing now. Oh, but then when I move it to bench cam with face, it's not right. Oh, a sec. Okay, that'll do. That's what we're going with. We're taking this PC apart. Let's go. Right. You go full custom loop for the maximum RGBage. I don't have enough water cooling stuff to do that, and I don't. This is a minimum. This is a zero budget build. So yeah, I'm not really interested in putting money into it. Like I do want to have a water cooling loop in the window. That would be really cool, but it's going to cost me like £200 in parts to do that, and I've just got better things to spend money on at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So yeah, Fractal Cooler Master case is better than Corsair. I really like Corsair cases. The only problems that I ever have with Corsair cases are the top USB ports wear out. But it's kind of difficult to judge that because also this is being used as the workstation in the shop where I'm constantly putting things in and out all day, every day. And I don't think there's a lot of cases that will stand up to that, to be honest. Like, do you use your front USB?
Not anywhere near as much as I'd imagine this does.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone use their frozen cat? Oh yeah. Oh, that's weird. Just start that again. Just going to check the USB connection on that. We're using a different PC. We're plugged into. We're currently connected to the one of the other shop demo PCs for streaming today. So stuff might be slightly upset. It's the same. Basically, I pulled the SSD out of this and plugged it into one of the other systems. So things might be a little bit screwy, but yeah.
There it is.
So yes, stick a Fractal North in the window. You'll be fighting the customers off. I'm not going to lie, I kind of like the Fractal North, but I'm like, well, I don't think that's a hot take, but the reason why I'm sort of going, I kind of like it, I'm saying that in a case of, I kind of want one. And I'm just like, oh, I haven't had the torrent for that long, you know. And considering the torrent...
Well, when you sell all of your computers...
Yeah. So, yeah. I do like the North. Oh my god, it's gone again. I'm just going to move the I'm just going to move the link to a different USB port.
Ah!
Let's just make sure that is plugged in properly and not straining. And let's move you to a different USB port. Yes, I know it will be frozen at the moment because I've plugged it into a different USB because I'm moving it to a different port. Right, and who is microphone 1? That's me.
Yes.
Yeah, microphone 1 is reading as 0 battery at the moment. Ugh.
Oh, it's now not going to be on the list because
Yeah.
it disappeared.
Just...
What?
Okay. There we go. Caradog was doing all of that left-handed, and I was just like, I'm back and I can fix this now, but also you're there, so...
Where do the fan cables vanish to? Oh, they vanished down the back.
Oh, did I actually cable tidy this? Yeah. I cable tidied this. Whoop. We'll go to this view for now. Right. Fleer 1 Pro, does anyone know some good software? No, I don't think so. Paul Daniels is the only person I know of who's managed to get one of these USB cams into Windows. Or, well, sorry, into PC in a meaningful way. So it's not something I would account
require
on doing.
cutting implements.
One memento. Whoop. You should use front USBs for nothing else but USB sticks. Anything else uses too much current. I mean, it does make a difference. If the ports are in spec, then they can carry an amp.
What? Oh my god.
Right. When will you be using the AI webcam in a stream, Graham? We did that on one of the streams. Like, this is the AI webcam, the bench cam that we're using at the moment. So if I switch to bench cam with face, what I can do is if I go to tracking and it needs to find me, if I do this, hello. Oh, there it is. There we go. It's found me, and now it's tracking me. You see? There we go. That's it doing its thing. So yeah.
Also, what the hell's up with the color, with the white balance?
The white balance is certainly different on this than it is to the main cam at the moment. The main cam looks a bit warm? Is that
the main cam's just wet the bed?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not going to lie. I don't want to say that your very expensive camera is the one that's wrong here, but we look very yellow. We've got a bit of a Deus Ex filter on at the moment. Okay, that's the bit. But yeah, right. And so there we go. And then if I wanted to stop following me, I hold up my hand again, and now it will stop following me. So yeah, but yeah, that's it. That's the thing. Whoop. Let's find the PC again and zoom out. Huh. And then suddenly we were very cold. Oh, now we're purple.
I see.
Are you okay over there?
Ah! Is that what we want? I think that's the direction we want.
Yeah, that's... I can't tell because we've been going through an RGB spectrum.
I'm going to leave it like that for a moment.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, because we've been going through a massive spectrum of colour, I don't know what looks correct anymore.
I've set it to a colour temperature of 4200.
That sounds about right. 4200 is what I use because these guys are set fairly low, but these guys are very high. And
yeah, I'll go with that.
4200 is normally about the middle ground between them.
Yeah.
Which is what usually looks right. So yeah. Good. Okay, right. Mexico filter, yeah. That's how you know you're in a desert country. Everything is yellow. Good. Let's see. What is this? This stream was supposed to be easy. We just had computers to build. All right. Caradog is doing the work, as is his wont. Right. What's the camera? What is the camera? It's a Canon R5 or R1?
Yeah.
R5.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a Canon R5.
Oh. Is this the front USB as well?
Yeah, it looks like I've got
You'll have to...
Oh, have I got a combo set up there?
You'll need to uncustom it.
Let me have a look and just see what I've actually done with that.
There we go. Oh, no, it's for the controller.
Oh, yeah, it's RGB and the... What the shit did I do with that? Oh, yeah, okay, that's legit, yeah. Right, that's RGB, that's...
Or is this staying in the case? Because it was with this AIO. Is this AIO staying in this case?
Yes, it is. Yeah, because we're that's staying with the CPU because the CPU is a 7900K. Is that real? No, 7700K. Yeah. So
this isn't staying in the case.
Sorry. No, it is not staying in the case.
Then these will need to be separated.
That is correct.
Okay.
I will separate them.
Okay.
My brain is mush and we're barely into this thing.
Oh my god.
Is my mic still working?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, well that's one thing at least. Right. Let me quickly unpick this and we'll get going. Ugh.
Aye.
What's the white keyboard? This is a Royal Kludge RK100. And it has dual USB-A hub at the back and a Type-C
Are they
connector.
powered when it's on wireless?
Almost certainly not, no. I'm 99% certain that the USB ports don't work over wireless. They are only active when you have the cable plugged in.
I was just wondering if they'd still be powered.
I wouldn't have thought so because you just burn through the wireless battery.
Yeah.
Although I want to mod that and put a big ass wireless battery in it at some point. It does last a decent amount of time with the backlight off, but I kind of want to just experiment with putting in like a ridiculous amount of just fill the bottom of the keyboard with LiPo. Just put a whole bunch of cells in there in parallel, just so I can see if I can have 2 weeks of battery with the backlight on, kind of thing. Just as an interest thing, because with the backlight off, the battery lasts for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I very rarely have to charge it. It's great, but with the backlight on, the runtime drops from 270-ish hours to 50 kind of thing. The backlight absolutely massive.
I was entirely expecting you to say it drops to 5.
Yeah. Either way, the backlight on a wireless keyboard murders the battery life. And I'm curious.
2 amps of RGB per fan.
So I'm
40,000 people used to live this.
Now it's flat. So I'm curious as to if
now it's Grimsby.
So I'm curious as to if putting a massive LiPo battery in will actually solve that. Okay, right. I'm just going to pin these extra wires back up just so... What bit needs to go where there? On earth? Oh, yeah, okay, no, I'm overthinking that.
I feel like that should be the title of today's stream.
I'm overthinking that. Rude. Okay. Done.
Congratulations.
I can't be bothered to put a new header on that, so we probably just won't connect it up, which means it'll run loud, but I'll fix that another time. Good. Right.
Is the power supply coming out of this case?
Yes. Yes, the power supply is coming out. and I need to grab another power supply to put in there actually, because the one that I was going to put in there is on loan. Yeah, I've got another power supply that I'm going to use for this, so I shall start taking that out while you continue with that.
Good. Is it suitably low power?
It is suitably low power. It is a CX430.
Ah, good. Because I swapped one of the power supplies in effectively my work server, because it was powering, you know, the high power requirements of an i3 9100.
I see.
With nothing else. And it was a kilowatt power supply.
I see.
I was just like, oh yes, my efficiency curves.
I was good. Yeah, like legitimately, actually, you were probably off the bottom end of the efficiency curve there.
It was like, yes, I'm probably using more power in the power supply than I am in the processor.
Yeah, like that would actually be a really interesting test to look at, because when you look at the efficiency curve of a power supply, like the bottom 5%, the efficiency tanks. But obviously, no PC would actually be operating in that area. But if you're running like an i3 on integrated graphics, you're sitting at like what, 50 watts idle, 40 watts idle, something like that. And
no,
on a what?
15.
What, whole system?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I'm talking like from the wall. Yeah.
50. Yeah.
So, but obviously on a kilowatt power supply, you're well into the single digits for the load percentage there. So it's entirely possible that actually, you might actually be losing a massive amount in conversion losses. So yeah, that would actually be a really interesting test to show as to when efficiency matters, because like loads of people overspec their power supplies because they're like, oh, they're more efficient in the middle of the curve. It's like, A, that's nonsense. However, there is actually a spot where they could be inefficient. Might need to take out the hard drive cage, which is a screw there and possibly some screws underneath, depending on if I put them back in.
Have a screw.
Let's see. Do the Royal Kludge keyboards still not come with the UK pound key? I don't think so, because it's a US layout. I don't know if they do.
I wouldn't expect it to on a US layout.
Yeah, I don't think they do. What's the European layout again? Is it ISO?
Well, it depends which European layout.
Okay. Yeah, but with the vertical.
A UK layout. Do you mean a UK layout because the layout is called UK layout?
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Or you've got Swedish layout, or French layout, or German, or
yes,
because that's just what they're called.
However, most keyboards there is the ANSI layout, which is the horizontal return key and long shift key, and there is the ISO layout, I think, which is the vertical enter key. And the ISO layout then means you can have whatever local European layout is appropriate.
I think it's actually a bit further than that, and literally just any non-US.
Pretty much, yes. However, I'm fairly certain, I don't think Royal Kludge keyboards come in an ISO layout. Therefore, you won't find any of the European layouts on them.
Far as
I think it's US only.
Ah, I see. Fair enough. I thought you had a choice basically, and you picked one.
No, I think they are US only, but to be confirmed. Yeah, so like actual letter, I'm not talking about the order of the letters like QWERTY, etc., etc. I'm talking about the physical key arrangement. Yeah. Because like if your physical key arrangement is the ANSI layout with the long return and long shift keys, you won't find this with a UK layout because the keys are the wrong shape for it. You cannot do a UK layout on this keyboard because the keys are not in the correct position, let alone with the right letter in the right place, if you see what I mean. It's the US layout. So unless you're HP and you just have nonsense keyboards that don't make any sense.
Or Apple.
I guess, yeah. Apple to a similar extent. Not quite as horrifying, but
I don't know. It's a literal US layout just with UK keys printed on top of it.
It has vertical return key though. It is an ISO layout, but with
it has the wrong shift length.
No, not on Apple.
Pretty sure it's got the wrong shift length.
Yeah. So the Apple keyboards. Ugh. Whoop. I'm going to get some examples because this is something that interests and bothers me in equal measure. Can we get a view of this? Hang on a moment.
Oh, I see.
Bench cam.
What am I getting confused about? Hold on, because I'm genuinely... Because something about this layout on this...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is the wrong shift length.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the wrong shift length because it's 1.25, not 1.5.
Okay, however, it's not a long shift
No,
like on a
which
US
is
keyboard.
2x. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
So,
That's what was messing me up there.
Yeah. So Apple keyboards. This is a UK. This is the ISO layout because it has the vertical return key and a short shift on the left. However, the @ symbol is in the top left, whereas on a UK layout keyboard, it should be in the bottom right.
Yes.
So the @ symbol and double quote symbols are in the US layout, but the rest of the keyboard is UK layout. So
oh God,
this is why Apple keyboards are nonsense.
Oh God, yes, the key layout is UK.
Yep.
The key labeling
is US.
Is effectively US.
Yeah. So here's a real UK keyboard which has double quote in the top left and the @ symbol in the bottom right. And again, vertical return key.
It's also wrong because it hasn't got backslash.
Yeah, they
because
relocate the backslash. Yeah, they have a couple of other things that are slightly different. But yeah.
Oh, that.
Also, tilde and backtick are reversed as well, if my memory serves me. So yeah. However, HP are just as bad in the opposite direction, where they have an ANSI layout, so horizontal return key, long shift key, and they have the UK style double quote in the top left, @ symbol in the bottom right. So basically, they do a reverse Apple.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
However, in a way, you can slightly excuse them because the reason why they do that is so they don't have to make two different top cases. This means that they don't have to make two different top cases for their laptops. They just make one top case with the ANSI layout shape on it. Apple, however, are just nonsense. Apple have no excuse. There is no reason for Apple to print the keyboards the way they do, and I don't understand why they do it that way. So yeah. Right.
Do US Macs have US enter?
Yes. They have a horizontal enter.
Then that doesn't answer that one either. It's not just a keycap printing thing.
Not for Apple,
no.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. HP, I understand why they do that. Is so they have to make fewer parts.
Yeah.
However, Apple, they still have to make an ISO layer, an ISO shape keyboard. So
unless it was just a case of it made it easier to fit in all of the other ones, so to fit in, the Swedish and the Danish and the German and the French and the so on. But I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? No idea. So yes, that is a genuine Apple keyboard. All Apple keyboards are the same. You'll look at any Apple keyboard, you'll see it's got the same stuff on it. So yeah.
What blew my mind a few years ago, and I remember just sending you a photo and going, "What is this?" Is the full size Apple keyboard with a numpad with a mouse coming out the side of it.
Oh yes.
And just being like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd only ever seen the 10 keyless version.
Yeah. So yes, it's all a bit weird. Does the Apple one at least have a pound sign on it? Yeah, Apple keyboards will have a pound sterling sign on them, yes.
As opposed to referring to pound, using pound to mean octothorpe.
Is octothorpe the correct term for the hash symbol?
It's an octothorpe.
Okay, yeah. Understood. I will not challenge you on this. I've never heard that word in my life, however. From your tone of voice, this is not something I should challenge. You're like, it's an octothorpe.
I'm just going to put a hash symbol in here.
I'm a Galactarian. Mind tricks don't work on me, only money.
Republic credits will do fine.
Keyboards are weird, man. Keyboards. Right, okay, we've got a power supply out of this, so yeah, motherboard out.
Which power supply is going in here?
Oh,
Just
yeah,
because obviously if the hard drive cage needs to go back in,
Okay,
I
yeah.
might as well put the power supply in.
Yep, okay, if you want to get this out of the way a sec, I'll quickly rip the power supply out of this case. Because, yeah, I wanted to...
Is that become your PC again?
Yeah, this is mine again. It got sold, then I bought it back for less than I sold it for. So it is now mine again. Customer was moving, and they were just like, I don't need this anymore. And I said, okay. So it has 4th gen Intel in it. It's got a GTX 960 in it, but I have a 970, so I'm going to put a 970 in it and a slightly uprated power supply, because the 970 I've got, I think, is dual connector, and this is only a single connector. So I'm swapping it out just to move things around a bit, and then I'll sell it off as a cheap gaming PC again, basically, which is what happened the first time it got sold.
Yeah, it's a 200, isn't it? The 200p?
Yes, this a Fractal P200.
P200,
Yeah,
that was it.
that's right, yeah.
I didn't realise when they miniaturized it, they did update it and stick a Type-C on the front as well.
Yeah, it's a cool case. I like this case.
Yeah. I just assumed it would be using ancient tooling like the P400
No, that's just simply because the P400 is ancient, but the P200 is actually reasonably modern. It's part of the modern refresh of the P series, so to speak. So yeah, right. I'm going to very ruthlessly just rip the power supply out of this, because this one we're not rebuilding this PC. We're just stealing parts from it right now. If you want to water cool it, you've got your 980 Ti with a water block on Fleabay. I had a water blocked I had a water blocked graphics card last week, and I unwater blocked it because I don't want to water cool. Well, I'm water cooling with AIOs because that probably annoys someone out there, and if it annoys someone, then it's funny. So, come on. Oh, helps if I press the tab. Oh god, this is the weird Z87 ITX nonsense motherboard, where the
power connector is just in the middle of the board.
The EPS connector is just in the middle, and it's just what? Oh, come on. Oh. Oh my god, I'm begging you.
Don't you have to break it into 4s?
This is something that really bothers me, is this hole is here specifically for the EPS connector, and the EPS connector doesn't fit through it. Who designs these cases? Who designs them and then at prototyping puts an EPS connector and doesn't go, do it again? Like, it doesn't go through the hole without a huge amount of faff, and that's the hole specifically for the EPS connector. And like,
EPS connector's hole?
Yeah. The hole specifically for the EPS connector. And like, this isn't unique to this case. This is a problem I see on a lot of cases. And I'm like, who keeps designing them like this? Who keeps okaying this stuff? Like, there was one.
It feels like someone took the size of the connector, took the size of the opening as a flat opening, and went, yes, this works.
Yeah.
And then forgot the fact that the opening's actually angled.
Yeah. And also, at no point...
just never physically tried it.
Yeah. And at no point did they ever have a prototype, which they then gave to a person and said, try and build a PC in this. To which that person would have immediately been like, it doesn't go through the hole.
Yeah.
You know, I am going to have to split that. And just like... I'm going off on a ranty tangent here, but this is an example of this being a problem and being like, why is this a problem? This should not exist.
Yeah.
Like, you can make that hole whatever size you want in manufacturing. So why is it the wrong size?
Yeah.
And like, once upon a time, when cable tidying wasn't a thing, this wouldn't have mattered. But this is the modern era. Cases are specifically designed with cable tidying and cable routing in mind.
Yeah, but the fact that you put a literal hole there
Yeah.
for it to happen, you have specifically thought people will want to put cables through here,
Yeah.
but then haven't actually made it possible for the cable that will go through there to go through there.
Yeah.
It's like the grommets on some cases that don't let the 24-pin go through.
Yeah, exactly that. Where are you going? Oh, that's graphics card. Okay, right. Ugh. Yeah, Sai says, I hate that issue. You run into it often. Yeah, big mood.
And like, I wouldn't mind so much if it was on the like £25 CIT case or something.
Yeah, sure.
So I'd be like, sure, the tooling for this case is probably older than I am.
Yes.
You know, sure, I'll accept that.
All right, we're on our way.
If you update the case to have USB-C, update the case to take EPS.
All right. Right, I'll give that to you, and you can take the back plate off of it, and I will get this out of the way.
Oh, it smells of animal.
Oh. I can't remember how dusty this was when it came back in.
Have you actually blasted out the power supply?
No. So actually, it's probably worth just taking it out the back and shooting it. I mean, air blasting it.
Also, this.
Oh yeah, top.
Oh, you know what? It looks quite all right, actually.
Yeah. It smell of animal. It smells of musty electronics, which is what I'd expect of a power supply, to be honest. So, yeah.
Slap.
This bad boy can fit so many watts in it. And by so many, I mean 430. Good, right, we've got a power supply for that case.
We have a power supply for the case.
Yes, okay, so you're going to put the power supply in, put the hard drive cage back in, and then take the motherboard out. Very good. I'll let you carry on. Oh, neat. I put the connector that I took off of this cable in there for safekeeping. I'm a genius. Now I very quickly need a reference. Just so I don't reverse wire this and blow stuff up. Oh. Right. USB, red, white, green, black. Okay. Red.
Yellow, white, green,
Shut. White, green, black. Okay, good. And black. Good. Excellent. Now we have a working USB cable. Right, I'm going to catch up on the chat. Fantastic video yesterday, Graham. Thanks, K-Dog. Yeah, I'm satisfied with how that video came out. There are a few bits which I forgot to mention in it, but just like a video like that is just never done if you keep changing it. So it got to the point where I'm just like, right, there's nothing factually incorrect in this video. It is sufficient. Send it. So yeah, but I'm happy with it overall. I'm happy to have it out there as a replacement for the old video, because the original video that the channel blew up on was my voltage injection video, how to do voltage injection. But there were some critical inaccuracies and incorrect information in that. And I had to private that video some time ago because I'm like, no, I can't leave this online because I'm being that one YouTuber that has that has popular videos that contain misinformation. So I privated it. So I'm very happy to, but like it made me sad because it's like one of the most, I think it is the single most popular video on the channel. So it broke my heart to have to private it, but I'm like, no, this can't go on, you know. So I'm very glad to have now be putting out a video to replace that, which isn't going to get the same amount of views or popularity, but at least I can have it out there, and when people ask, I can be like, yes, here's a tutorial about video voltage injection, and also just know that I've got a good video out. So yeah, much happier with that. Do Corsair CX PSUs still randomly explode? I've never had one explode. They do fail now and then, but they fail. They fail by volume. There are so many Corsair CX power supplies out in the wild because they are very, very well priced that you're just by sheer volume of units in the wild. So yeah. What did I learn from the first injection video? I don't understand. Never fear, I'm finally arrived. Hi, Teltac. Everyone cower in fear because the Amazon AWS Solutions Architect has arrived.
He's going to architect your... Never mind. I'm not going to use those words.
He's the architect of the solutions to your problems.
Yes.
So yes.
That is the significantly more sanitary version.
Corsair PSU powered by reefer caps. I hope not. Audio is clipping. Sync seems out. We do get a little bit of off sync every now and then. There's nothing I can do about it. It comes and goes. Also, the batteries in these mics are really low, so I'm kind of not going to, like, while they're still working, deal with it. This is not a high quality stream today, so yes. Oh, shortly after Caradog dropped the PSU, everything went janky, but it smoothed out. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, it was probably the microphone filters going, oh my god, clamp that spike, and then straightening out again. So, am I still insisting on BT? Yes, I still haven't done it because I'm awful. However, unless you found someone who can do me gigabit internet for like less than £60 with phone as well,
with calls.
Yeah, with calls, like minutes and stuff like that, you know. And I'll be extremely impressed if you can find someone who can do that.
Which doesn't offer you 20 megabit upload.
Yeah. This is the reason why I'm going with BT, is they have the best deal. There was another company that could beat it by like £5 or £10, I think, and I'm like, I'd rather stay, for the sake of £5 or £10, I'd rather stay with BT and have all of my stuff with one place. So, did we go lo-fi today? Yeah, probably. Doo-doo. Use the Rode mics and you reckon they're great? Great battery life. Yeah, in all fairness, we started this stream with the mic batteries at critically low. Like the lights on them are flashing, indicating they need to be charged, and we've been going for 50 minutes now, so they're not doing too badly. Why would you need a landline in 2023, Graham? Because I own a shop and people need to call me. Doo-doo. Right. BT has the lion's share around the UK. GSM. Do you mean a mobile phone? I mean, well, yeah, okay, so now I need to buy a mobile phone. So now that's internet plus a mobile phone. So, like, I'm not taking business calls on my personal phone. That's a terrible idea. You would, yeah. I mean, absolutely, you can have a dedicated mobile phone as the main shop phone, sure. But then I have to buy an additional mobile phone and a contract for that for the shop phone. So yeah, I still need a business phone. Landline seems more professional. Yes, I could. Yeah, I mean, you can get around that because you can have you could have like a national number that routes to a mobile or something like that. Plenty of ways around that. But the fact remains is that there needs to be a dedicated shop for the phone. So it doesn't really matter if that's a mobile phone or a landline or what. So I'd rather it be it may as well be a landline basically, because that is going to work out cheaper for me to pay £10 a month extra on my telco bill for a landline phone than paying 15 or £20 a month for a separate mobile phone contract. But what about your fax line?
I find this so bizarre. This is a slot.
Yeah.
That is a slot. These are holes.
Yeah.
What's the point of making this a slot then?
I don't know.
Why'd you put the kids up on the table?
I don't think I've. I like this layout of case, but I don't think I've seen a case that's done a really nice hard drive cage that hasn't felt like an afterthought as a, oh God, we need to have somewhere to mount hard drives kind of thing. They're all a little bit jank kind of thing, but yeah. Wonder if you could use Twilio, rent a number from them, sent up conditional for. I mean, maybe, I guess, but yeah. Dedicated shop for the phone. You know what I mean! No cider today. We haven't reached that point yet. However, I'm well on my way to being there. So yeah. Caradog being the only one working his peak Two Guys Talk Tech. My job is to do the chat. We can swap places anytime Caradog wants. He's just got to say the word. Eventually, you could have everyone call you on a business Discord account. Everyone wants to contact me by WhatsApp, and I'm like, no. No, I don't want to use WhatsApp for business communications. I really hate the fact that just everyone expects WhatsApp now. I'm just like, can we not with that? Although in fairness, I think you can run WhatsApp without a mobile phone number now, though, can't you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I believe you can WhatsApp without a mobile phone number.
I don't pay any attention to it because it's Facebook.
Yeah, that's my
Meta.
issue. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to use a Meta service for business communications, and I do not give customers my personal phone number because that's a terrible idea. Don't ever give a customer your personal phone number because they will call you on a Sunday afternoon and say, is my computer done yet? And you're like, what? You know, ask me how I know. I'm in a very ranty mood this afternoon. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't like being like this. But yeah. Also, hello, 213. I see you there. You are indeed a Turkish person. Hello to all my Turkish viewers. WhatsApp is quite good. Haven't had to speak to your family for about 4 years. Yes, this is true. Yeah. I use WhatsApp for communicating with family. This is true, but like that's the only thing I use it for. So yeah.
I don't use it at all, and I find so.
Well, but then on the other hand, though, you
hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on. I was making a specific point. However, your point may contradict my point, but I need to make the point first, or otherwise it seems a bit funny. I feel. My point was going to be about normies. Right?
Normies, yeah.
Yes, yes. And I was effectively explaining the use of Discord in my social circles. And I was thinking through the whole thing of just how sort of the progression of different apps being the core part of different social circles. And you can very much tell what group someone is in by the apps they have.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know.
Furries use Telegram. That's what you wanted to say. So yeah, furries use Telegram. If someone is using Telegram, they're either Russian or a furry or both. So...
Or they are someone who develops software for mobile phones and for some reason insists on using Telegram. All of that stuff seems to use Telegram groups.
Ah,
All of that stuff.
fair enough.
Like custom ROMs for Android phones.
Yeah.
Almost all of those groups have gone on to being Telegram groups, as opposed to using forums on a desktop computer. The desktop computer that you need to use to flash the device, devoid. The Telegram group on a mobile phone, where you're typing on a mobile phone's keyboard, yes, that's where how I want to send my messages. I don't want to use the physical keyboard on the computer that I'll need to use to flash the phone anyway.
I have to admit, I don't understand why Telegram has such a high staying power with certain groups because of how much more functionality Discord has over Telegram, especially with groups.
I think part of it is just because Discord doesn't sync sometimes on mobile.
Yeah, true. Because I feel like like the concept of a group that is just a single chat room with no threading, no separate rooms or anything like that. Like that's how it always used to be with Skype and stuff like that. But that just seems archaic at this point. You know, even IRC had channels. You know, and so the idea that that's still how Telegram works is wild to me. You know, and like I use Telegram on and off. But again, one of the reasons why Telegram will never be my main point of contact is for that reason. Is I'm just like, Discord provides infinitely more functionality to me, so I find it weird. Don't get me wrong, you know, for Telegram users out there, I've got nothing against it. You know, it's just, you know, I've got groups of friends who are rigidly on Telegram, and I'm like, you know, maybe Discord, and they're like, nope. They have zero interest in moving, and I'm like, but Discord does so much more.
Yeah, it's very interesting sort of seeing that, and I find it very interesting talking specifically about Discord and completely getting off the topic that I was going to talk about. But before you
jump into that, Telltite just points out Discord has no end-to-end encryption. That is a very good point. If that is
Telegram?
Telegram does. I don't know how.
I meant that in the sense of does it actually?
Yeah.
Or does it have?
Yeah, Teltac is Telegram secure? Because like obviously, if we take the top tier, Signal is secure.
Yeah.
You know that's our benchmark here. On a scale of Facebook Messenger to Signal, how secure is Telegram? You know. So yeah.
I think sorry, right.
Continue.
What was I going to say? Discord. The thing I find very interesting about Discord is how it seems to be putting an awful lot more effort into telling people how old the account is. It seems to be bringing up the age of people's accounts, but like the specific creation date far more front and center in the past few months than it ever was.
Yeah.
And I just find that very interesting. And I know I'm odd in this. I hate specific account creation dates because I always look back at it and go, oh, that's not a very nice date or whatever that is. But obviously you just make it a random day when you're like, oh, I need this account. And I know that's a very me thing.
What do you mean that's not a very nice date? Did you make your Discord account when you were just having a particularly bad day or something like that?
No.
And it reminds you of a bad day in your life?
No, but just like,
yeah.
you know the whole thing of like, oh, the volume has to be on an even number or a 5. Kind of that level of minor annoyance.
All right, yeah, okay.
You know, like oh, I created this account on the 3rd of April. It wasn't the 1st, it wasn't the 4th to make it 4/4/16 or something.
This is an incredibly first world problem.
Oh yeah, no. That wasn't specifically the thing. Then that's why I said it's a me problem. But it's just like, I just find that very interesting that they're very specifically putting the specific creation date and not just kind of going age. You know, and they're not just kind of going age of account. Because I can understand why you'd want that information front and center. Because when someone messages you, if the account is literally today old, but they're saying, oh yeah, I've been on Discord ages, it's a case of, well, why have you made a brand new account? And why is the age not match up and so on, you know, for scamming and stuff.
Yes.
I kind of get that.
Although, ironically, considering Discord's prolific problem with accounts getting hacked due to session token theft, obviously at that point, just because an account is old doesn't mean it's not compromised. But then that's a separate issue.
Les buggers. I have lost a screw somewhere in there.
That's fine. Once the motherboard is out, we can just shake them all out.
I have lost it in the plastic that Asus loves covering their boards in.
Yeah, apparently Telegram is.
I presume it is entirely fit for purpose.
Right, Telegram has end-to-end encryption, but it's not validated by Signal.org.
Interesting. Oh, yeah,
DNA says they use a custom-built symmetric encryption using a scheme called MTP Proto. So, yeah, but has that... Yeah, I guess the question is that... I take it that Signal.org are an independent verify that a system is secure, so you don't have to take their word for it kind of thing. I guess that's the inference there.
Signal.org are the people who did Signal.
Yeah.
And obviously are viewed as... There we go. But anyway, yes, my conversation about normies.
Oh, that's a Amazon delivery.
That is in delivery.
Yep, I'll accept this one.
I will accept people giving me things when they interrupt me during my live stream. Yes.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's likely secure because we can't gather signals and NFP. Not for profit, who do a lot of work in the area of end-to-end encryption for these kind of things, though I've not kept up for a while. Thank you, Teltac. Yes. This is my microphone.
All right. Well, I held my finger over the microphone, but I didn't think that actually did anything useful there. So I think the entire stream just heard me open the door and be like, "Oh, thanks, mate," to the Amazon guy. So.
Excuse me.
It's a laptop battery.
The laptop battery ever.
Yeah.
The most.
I can't be bothered to explain that joke. I'm going to get a cider. Are you all right there?
Yes.
Is there something wrong? Are you prompting something?
No, I'm just...
Am I making a social faux pas? And you're like, do you mind? You know.
Oh no.
Shit.
Oh, there you go. There we go. Excuse me.
I'm having a Blackthorn Gold today.
I see.
I don't think I've had Blackthorn before, so I don't know if it's any good. Worst unboxing ever.
Worst unboxing ever. It's a box. It's my... Never mind. God. Something...
That's quite sweet.
Something I was unprepared for was being reminded of my age, if in the sense of how old certain internet reference things are, but also how there are huge swathes of people out there who don't know any of the what I would call common internet knowledge references.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, what? These are people who are young enough to have grown up on the internet, old enough to have been around the internet long enough to have seen stuff like that, not the YouTube only internet generation kind of thing. And just...
Although I think if you grew up when social media was already a thing, and by social media I mean Facebook onwards, you know, like MSN messages, these were all social media, but if you grew up when Facebook was already established, you grew up on a different internet to you and I.
Oh, absolutely.
That's one of the... I think that's my litmus test.
I would say that, again, I grew up on a much older internet than people my age would have done
Yeah.
because of the stuff that I was interested in led me towards groups that had a much higher average age.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, obviously, in a way, I'm far too young for message boards and things like that. But because of the things that I was interested in, I used them. Much after they had stopped being the popular thing that they were.
Yes.
And sort of stuff like that, and like forums.
Yeah. See, I grew up with forums.
So we were still using forums much after they'd been replaced.
Yeah.
I don't know what by, because I don't know what replaced forums, because everyone seems to have cycled back to creating forums inside Discord servers.
Yeah, Facebook groups replaced forums, basically.
But Facebook groups have none of the functionality.
No, they had enough functionality for what people generally needed for the most part. Like, lots of small forums were easily replaced by Facebook groups. However, Facebook groups then started falling out of vogue because of, again, the lack of functionality became a limiting factor.
And also,
in addition to that, just Facebook itself started becoming less popular because obviously, like once upon a time, Facebook was great and I was a big Facebook user. But, you know, but I don't think it's, it's not a hot take to say that Facebook is unpopular now. There's still plenty of people who use it, don't get me wrong, but certainly in a lot of savvy places, a lot of people are like, no, I don't use Facebook unless I have to, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I find it very interesting. Admittedly, obviously, I can only use individual people as examples of generations because I haven't met more people from those generations in a sufficiently close and frequent basis to have sort of observed and seen these. But I find it very interesting that someone who is nine years younger than me, I think, their usage of Facebook and so on compared to someone who is 17 years younger than me, something like that, and their usage of Facebook, 15 years younger than me, I can't remember. I don't know, I can't do maths right now. But substantially younger, old enough to be old Gen Alpha, I think. You know, to be that, or Zoomers or whatever it is, but to be completely different generation,
younger generation.
Their complete different interaction with Facebook, Meta, and so on, and their level of care and not care, and so on. And I realise they come from completely different social groups and so on, which is going to force part of that anyway. But just kind of seeing that complete difference and the way that they talk about all of their friends and their friends' friends' interaction with it, or complete lack of care of the interaction with Facebook, Meta, the company, and just the person who is that middle age of the three of us, knows who Facebook is, uses Facebook Messenger, uses Facebook, but uses Facebook Messenger, but doesn't use Facebook in the way that we did with the actual posting on people's walls, statuses, things like that. And then the younger still doesn't use Facebook at all, doesn't use Facebook Messenger, other than the fact that they were kind of forced to. And kind of just that, and the way that they talk, and their friends group talk about that, and all of their, like, the younger person's friends group is like, from their perspective, Discord is only used by people under 18. In their, to their perception, the only people who use Discord are under 18s. And anyone who's over 18 using Discord is a bit weird.
What?
Yeah.
Now I see the point you're making. So I was kind of standing here going, where are you going with this?
But kind of that. And I'm just like, what? But Discord became big in 2015. When you were like 4. How can it be for people your age? If that makes sense.
Don't know.
But just kind of the way that obviously each group perceives its use of things. I guess was kind of my loose point there. And just kind of how, in a way, we can never know.
But yeah, I guess to a similar extent though, you know, to give an example, like our friend in common, KO, in question. I've had conversations with KO about actually, just to keep us on topic here. I have 2 of these Corsair cases. I want to choose which one I'm going to use.
Yeah. No. My confusion is that there is a 24 pin there, and there is no power supply.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's got some old extensions in it. Yeah.
I was looking at that, and then looking at the back
Yeah.
of the case. It was, what?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. KO. I've had conversations with him about it, and like he's a heavy Telegram user, but you would imagine that being a very tech-oriented person of our generation, he would use Discord a lot out of necessity, right? He barely touches Discord. He's like, oh no, I'm in like 2 servers or something. And one of them is just one that I use with my friends for voice chatting in games, because Telegram doesn't do voice chat.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we have, and because TeamSpeak is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't touch Discord. And I'm like, how? How do you not use Discord? It's very strange to me. But and that's the thing. Whereas by comparison, I live on Discord. 90% of my social interaction is via Discord. It's weird to think that anyone would think that Discord is for young people, though, because I'm just like, don't get me wrong, it's one of the newer platforms, but it's still been around for, since 2015-ish. So, yeah.
And, I think the other thing as well is kind of how old man yelling at cloud Snapchat makes me feel. Like the kind of communication it wants to encourage, the kind of communication its heavy users use it for, and things like that, and just kind of, I don't know if the difference is because I don't know if it's a male female difference either. But it's a case of kind of to a degree the services it offers, the things it does, to a degree, have never been a thing that were particularly useful to me.
Yeah.
And
Snapchat was always supposed to be a curiosity thing, but they ended up having to expand its functionality because, Snapchat is the one where messages originally just all self-destructed, right?
Snapchat originally was a chatting mechanism where the only way you could chat was by sending photographs. Photographs that would delete once you'd viewed them.
Yes, yeah.
That's how it originally started. And then several years after it started, they added the ability for you to send text messages. The ability to send a text message with no picture came much later than the launch of the service.
Yeah. And now you have stuff that doesn't necessarily delete when you view it as well.
You have always been able to save stuff in chat. To pin it in the chat. But when you do that, obviously it pins in the other person's chat as well. And also it sends them a notification. As far as I can tell, the main feature, the main benefit of Snapchat kind of thing to people who were using it was that it was hard to screenshot.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, I don't know if this is a male thing, specifically, to me, or the social circles I've had, but I've never needed to send pictures to people that have been self-destructing.
Yeah.
And I've never needed to, be that cautious about people screenshotting the messages I'm sending and so on.
Yeah.
And it's like, I to a degree view Snapchat actually as a reasonably negative thing.
Yeah.
For a large number of people who were using it, just because of the.
I think
there's a heavy implication about the reason why you should be using it to communicate with someone.
That's just it. I think the reason for Snapchat existing originally started out as a tee-hee, send secret messages to your friends, but the internet being what it is, it turned into the point where now people wanted to do much more with it, and the only reason for its original functionality very quickly became for questionable purposes, which now leaves it in an incredibly weird stage of what is this for now?
I feel like it leaves it in a very weird stage only for us who did not grow up on it.
Yeah, that's true. I've never touched Snapchat before.
Yeah.
you know,
And like,
at all.
I feel like I am odd for my age group and slightly older in my social circles for the amount that I have used it.
Mm.
And, excuse me. And the only reason I have used it as much as I have, and the only reason I even got an account in the first place, is because of someone who I was talking to.
Mm.
And that's also something I don't understand about what I'll call non-computer tech focused people who have non-computer tech interests.
Yeah.
They will, based on, again, limited experience of people I've interacted with only, they will use multiple messaging services with the same person
Yeah.
at the same time,
Oh.
having
Yeah.
multiple different conversations in the different locations.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just kind of stuff like that. And
I
was
understand having multiple conversations at the same time in different rooms of the same platform. Like I do this on Discord all the time. I'll have two different conversations with the same person in two different rooms of a Discord server, but you're still on the same platform, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't see the being on the same platform or on different platforms bit doesn't make any difference to me.
Mm.
It's a case of the expectation is almost always you will be having more than one conversation with a single person at the same time.
Oh, as an expectation? No, I don't think
Yeah.
that's an expectation.
Yeah,
It's just something
that's
that
kind of my
occurs.
point. Again,
Yeah.
my limited experience of the
Yeah.
people with whom I have interacted,
Yeah.
but just kind of that kind of thing, and just the fact of it's almost a case of it is forbidden for you to have a serious conversation on X platform. Y platform is the one for the serious conversation. This
Yeah.
platform is the one for X conversation. This one is for that one, and so on, and just
Yeah.
kind of stuff like that. And this one is the one where you start a conversation on in the day, and then you send in other places, and just kind of this incredible complex web of kind of etiquettes and norms and so on. And it's just like, and we came here from an IRC.
Yeah. Yes. Odd. Right. Let's which is the platform for furries? Telegram. Right. Getting back on track. So we've got two of these. They're both. So I was having a look at both of these to see which one was in better condition and stuff like that. So I would potentially want to use the one that is in worse condition, so I can keep the one that's in better condition to build another computer in that I could sell at some point. So I'm not super bothered about what condition the case this computer is in. So I'll use this one. And yes, the eagle-eyed among you will notice it has a Carrie Holzman badge on the front. It was inspired by Carrie Holzman. I don't know what that means. But at any rate, I'll use this one. I shall probably debadge it at some point. But yeah, on account that badge isn't going to come off without leaving some marks behind, this one is inevitably going to have more marks on than the other. So we'll use this case. So I'm just pulling out some of the old wiring from it. And we'll start rebuilding in this.
There's a reasonable amount of just bits still in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like an optical drive.
Yeah. Which I don't know if I'll... may as well... Yeah, if we've got the wiring for that, may as well hook it up. It's not something I ever think I'll need, but if it's in the case, I'll leave it connected. Like, when I need an optical drive, I use the one that's in that build. But it would be good to have more than one computer with an optical drive, I guess. So I'm just going to take out all of this old wiring first. So, yeah. All right.
God, someone literally just did unplug the modular PSU and just leave everything in the case.
Yeah, big time.
Because there's another SATA chain as well.
Yeah, not sure.
No, I don't know, and I feel like, to a degree, Teltac is partially a bridge on this, just given that he's a reasonable chunk younger than us.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of mixes in, it more easily mixes with even younger, again, people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And just kind of...
I feel like Teltac is one of those oddball cases where...
was forced to interact with old people.
Yes. Like Teltac, I would wager that 9 times out of 10, you're probably the youngest person in a lot of your social circles, would be my wager. But then on the other hand now, because you're not so young anymore, our little boy's all grown up. that's probably become less of a thing over time.
It's kind of like Spud.
Yeah.
The fact that he's,
Yeah.
12.
Yes. And even more so because, again, like Teltac, he's someone who is quite young, but also commands a great deal of knowledge on given topics. So, yeah, 100% of the time, yeah. Well, there you go then, yeah. Carrie Holzman's bot will realise you spoke his name, and now I owe him $100. Oh no! Right, yeah, I think I'm up to. I'm up to date. All right, that's all of that that's coming out. Everything else is case fittings. Cool. Right, let's build it. I guess I'm gonna move all of these cables down to here as stuff that's come out of the case. I guess we'll probably reuse some of the SATA chains, but cool. All right.
So what are we doing with AIOs?
Oh no. Right, the original reason why we were recasing this is because we couldn't fit 2 AIOs in the 220T.
Yeah.
So we need to fit 2 AIOs in this. Right, what hard drives did this have in? This didn't have any hard drives in, did it?
No.
No, good. So we'll take out the hard drive cage and we'll stick one up front and one up the top then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.
If you take the filter off the bottom.
Ba-da-ba. Good evening, Graham and chat. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Is this for Minecraft server? Yes. For the record, if we actually start a Minecraft server, I'm probably not going to use it for a while because I'm just playing Minecraft with other people at the moment. However, just people seem to want a Minecraft server, and by people I mean Sai. So this is for Sai's Minecraft server. Like, I will be running a completely separate private instance of a Minecraft server on there that's between me and a different friend group, but... All right. Good. So, yeah, that's opened up. Are we going to move any of those? Do those fans move, or are those at fixed locations? Yeah. So next question then.
Interesting. No.
Yeah.
I was seeing if it could, because obviously in my one,
you can have
it's a
2
little
stacks,
bit longer.
can't you?
I've got 2 stacks.
Does it fit 2 stacks of those?
It does not appear to. This one doesn't, anyway.
Fair enough, yeah.
Also, this has a little plastic standy bit.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Which mine doesn't.
All right.
Interesting.
Right, okay, so we've got 2... Are those 140s?
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah. So are we going to... right, so how are we going to put a 240mm rad in front of there? Should we just mount it up and just have them just blow through wherever they can?
Can they?
Or should we take those out and just front mount the rad with dual 120s on it?
Oh, I see. Oh,
This is kind of weird because this is quite an old design, this one, and doesn't have... It's just before they started doing the airflow rails, as it were. So it's kind of a bit weird.
Oh yeah, and this is just designed slightly differently as well.
Yeah. See, that's got fairly standardized spacing on it, so that's no issue. But just the front, not sure what to do with that. Because the fans, I don't think 120mm fans will line up in any particularly pleasing way anywhere.
It has got 120mm mounts.
Yeah. However, and could we go... But then, yeah, but not mounts to have 2 120mm directly next to each other. So the fans aren't really... Although, again, if we take those out and then just mount the rad there with the fans on the back of it and just leave the front bit empty, then that's probably the best way forward. That would be optimal airflow, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably.
And
just put that one in there.
Yeah.
And then this up top.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, let's do that. So let's take these front ones out.
Have you got 120mm fans for that AIA?
I have 120mm fans.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find some that I'd actually want to use. I'll take some off of this one. I don't know why this one is here. I can't remember. Oh, I think this is I think this one is one of my dead AIOs that has a dicky pump in it that works when it feels like it. So yeah, I'll take the fans off of this one. 2 hours later. Shush. I'm going to grab a screwdriver and remove the fans from this.
Shut.
All right. What are we rehoming? This looks like Caradog's case. It is the little brother of Caradog's case. We're rehousing the YouTube rig into this in order to free up my 220T, which I'm going to then put a bunch of other stuff in to be a Minecraft server. Go all there. I don't have any air coolers. I've got loads of AIOs, but no air coolers. So we're doing everything water. That's how it be. Oh, also, Teltac has a message for you, Caradog, about Eve.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Message received.
Yes. I need to find where I am on that monument.
Is this a monument to tens of billions of ships that died in an enormous fight at some point or something?
No, just to the age of Eve.
Ah, fair enough, yeah.
Just to how old it is.
Yeah.
But yes.
Very well.
Also, Teltank, did you actually ever have more of a thought of whether you were going to go to FanFest?
Unplug.
What?
Right. Okay, we have fans. VAT is currently at 20%, yes. Will customers be able to see the front? No, this computer is not customer facing. Previously it was pretty just for my own enjoyment. However, no, customers don't see this computer, so it doesn't need to. So yeah, it doesn't need to look pretty. I would like it to be half nice, but
What is that hole?
I don't know. Yeah, just show the front, show the camera that. It's just such a nonsense hole. Like, what is that? What do you do with that?
What is this? What is this?
What are those? Didn't they say they will lower the VAT over Brexit? I don't know. They said a lot of things over Brexit. But that's not a topic. I'm not touching that one with a barge pole. Because it'll make both myself and more so Caradog very angry. So yeah. Teltac says he's not had more thoughts because he's spending all of his money on house driving and Warhammer.
How does one drive a house?
Very well. Cool, right. Let us power supply and motherboard, I guess.
How is the AIO physically being attached to the case?
Right, so let's trial fit. So that is going to... Could you take those tweezers, please? Thank you. That is going to go in there. And I'm going to assume that there will be some holes that line up on the front.
Yeah, you can.
2 or
oh
3
wow!
will do it. You got
Oh wow!
full
No,
on?
we've got full mounting.
Oh, rad.
Yeah. Oh.
I said, rad, get it? Because it's a radiator?
Shut up.
All right, sorry. Look, I don't make puns very often. Let me have this.
At least make them funny.
Wow. Guess I'll just shut up. Cool. All right. Good. All right, so we know how we're going to mount it. What have you just read?
Oh, just because CCP are struggling with ESI, you can't use the monument search tool to find where you are. I think CCP struggling with ESI is just a defining comment of Eve for the past 10 years.
Very well. Right. Okay. Let's
Possibly?
let's swap places. You're in charge of chat now. We shall switch roles for a bit. You have disassembled, I shall assemble.
That joke was clearly pre-ground. Pre-groaned, even. I can read, sometimes.
Right.
I don't know. Is a 3060 Ti for £700 a good buy?
No.
No.
Do not.
No.
Right.
£700 buys you a 4070.
Yeah.
I would very much rather have a 4070. £700. I don't know what the conversion is on them, but maybe.
Right.
Don't forget this is an old case.
I'm going to mount my power supply fan pointing down purely for the reason that I have 2 old grotty AIOs going into this computer. Not saying I don't trust old grotty AIOs, but I'm mounting my power supply fan pointing down. That is all. So if anyone spots that I've done that, I've been like, oh, I thought you were a fan pointing up guy. Well, yeah. There are certain times where I'm just like, let's just play this one safe, I think.
It's fine. All we need to do now is test the CX500 with glycol.
Yeah.
£700 is about £31. Ah, yes. I accept your exchange rate. I will pay £31 for a 3060 Ti.
I can say I paid 35 quid for a parking ticket earlier on today, so yeah, I would absolutely be, yeah. That's good to go up there.
Oh look, it fits.
Yeah, that actually just went straight in. I'm going to remove that so I can see through it. Yeah.
Look at that. What do you know?
They don't make them like they used to. Caragog's going to be very biased in favour of this case because he has the big brother of it.
Well, it's just big and boring and reasonably practical.
Yeah. They should make more modern cases like this one, just with a bit more of a logical front panel.
Well, yeah, the 750 is entirely logical on that front.
Yeah, although the 750 is a bit big for my taste.
Oh, there's a keyboard.
This is still a ATX case, not sort of a EATX case, if you see what I mean. I know that's not a real thing, but you know, if you say it, people understand what you're talking about. Right. Whoop.
There was something I meant to ask you, only because Sai says, "How did you manage to get a parking ticket?"
By parking my car on double yellow lines.
Although
it was absolute nonsense. It was Sunday. My family was coming out to visit, and I left my car parked out in front of the shop on a Sunday afternoon. And I'm like, yeah, it's on double yellows, but it's Sunday afternoon in Shaftesbury. No one cares at that time of day, and I got to park. And literally, I came back and I saw it. I'm like, what parking warden is in Shaftesbury on a Sunday afternoon, looking to hand out tickets? I couldn't believe it. You know, like if you're in a city, yeah, sure, you can't leave your car unattended without getting a ticket. That's what you get. However, this is Shaftesbury. You know, this is a fun, to all intent and purpose, rural. And there was a heckin' parking warden walking around on a Sunday afternoon at a time when all of the shops and businesses are closed. Like, what the hell? So yeah, that's how I got a parking ticket, and I was a bit annoyed about it. But it was a case of, well, there's not really anything I can do because I was parked on double yellows. You know, I can't really contest it because I was on double yellows. So yeah,
Perhaps the parking warden, in fact, actually just lives in Shaftesbury.
yeah,
And they were working from home that day.
yeah. Just leaned out the window like, oh yes, yeah. That's my impression of a parking warden. Someone who just leans out and goes, oh yes.
I am Lloyd Grossman.
Yeah. Suffice to say, I think he was a job's worth, because it's a case of I was not blocking anyone, I was not causing an obstruction to anyone. However, technically, I was parked illegally, so fine, whatever. Whatever, Trevor.
Am I a BMW guy? No. Sorry, Teltac. Are all parking wardens just a Churchill dog to you? Oh, yes.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, yes. Very specific UK adverts that only certain kids will understand.
The only...
0800 00 1066.
That's not Churchill.
That's Hastings Direct.
Yes.
Which was another very distinctive
Okay,
advert of the
okay.
time. You say to any British kid of a certain time period, you just go 0800 00. They'll be like 1066.
Oh dear.
God, I feel old.
It's okay. You're only nearly 40.
Slowly turning into my dad. I've got a grey patch appearing here, and my dad for years just had a grey fringe. He didn't turn grey; he just had a grey fringe, and I'm getting the Lord Grey fringe. It's happening.
Absolutely. It was the Williams F1 team flag. Back in 2004, 5, 6, 7, they were the engine manufacturers. Come on, brain, remember that important information. My brain. 0800 00 1066. But no, it's always that way, isn't it? Just there is an advert or something, and you're just like, ah, yes, I need to remember this very important information. Where did I put the thing?
0800. Yeah.
No, wait. California. No, wait, hold on.
I hate how advertising works. You know, like the way, you know, when you talk about, you know, catchy theme tunes and jingles and stuff like that, and you're like, that's nonsense and I hate it, but it works, it's effective. Like, what other car insurance broker could you quote the telephone number of off by heart? You know, like none of them.
Yeah.
However, Hastings Direct, I know their phone number. You know. I also know when the Battle of Hastings was.
Because of the advert.
Quite so. I couldn't tell you the day or the month, but I can tell you the year, you know.
Good. That sounds a bit rough.
Yes, but it was picking up the thread though.
Hunk.
Yeah.
See, my most defining memory for remembering like random things from adverts is this is going to go to a certain age of people, and it's before my time, but I don't know why I could specifically remember it.
Okay.
But you know, there was a telephone company called 1-to-1, the mobile phone company.
Yeah.
I can remember their little like the
slogan, jingle, catchphrase.
The jingle almost that they used, and it was the background sound to all of their adverts.
Oh right, yeah. Their theme tune, yeah.
Kinda, yeah. And it's just kind of these adverts. I would have been very, very young, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Would never have watched them, kind of thing. And just stuff like that. And it's just like, what?
For when I was a kid, for years, Lloyd's TSB. I forget who the artist is. Someone in the chat might be able to help me out, but it was It was a song by a female vocalist that went along the lines of, "What can I do to make you love me? What can I do to make you care?" And the melody for that went do 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 do. Lloyd's TSB used that song for a whole advertising campaign.
Yeah.
So that song is just intrinsically linked to the Lloyd's TSB bank to me now.
Yeah.
Because just for years, one of my mates just had a good voiceover voice that he could do, and he could just be like, start your new savings account today on demand when we were making this joke about this,
Apparently
The Cause, yes. Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
It's like sometimes, every now and then, you find an advert where they've used a song and it's a remix of the song. And it's a really good remix of the song. Like, it's a really good version of the song.
Yeah.
And obviously, it will never get actually released as a track. And it's just like, a couple of times, that's really, really sad.
Sometimes it's also interesting when an advert completely catapults a song into stardom, though. Like, what is it? Your Love is a Waterfall or something like that. The one that was used for the Visa contactless advertising campaign.
I don't know it by sort of description.
Someone in chat, help me out here. Someone must get that reference. This was fairly modern. When Visa was first launching their contactless technology, the advert was of a guy on a water slide that was just going around town. He was just on this water slide around town, just contactless paying for things and picking them up off of stuff.
Fairly modern. Wouldn't that have been pre-2014? Oh no, wait.
Someone help me out with this song. Remember when this show was about tech?
Contactless payments about tech. It's all about NFC.
Sure. Yeah. No one's going to help me.
No.
All right. You've all failed me.
After a call to IKEA support, I get stressed by ABBA music.
I think a lot about the... I can't remember if I've mentioned this before, but I think a lot about the guy who does the GIF-GAF voicemail service. Because he's just a very... I forget what the region is, but he's just a very Midlands kind of chap. And he goes... Welcome to GIF-GAF. The person you're trying to call isn't available. And he kind of sounds really like sort of, I'm so sorry about this. To leave a message. And he's just, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Si says he knows him. Yeah, so I've heard this story from you before, Si. I was like, I know someone had mentioned this.
As long as it's only personally and not biblically.
Yeah. But yeah, I think about it a lot every time.
Midlands, he's northern. Yes, because the Midlands don't exist. They're a lie.
Yeah, there are no Midlands. There is below the... Look, we'll be generous here. We'll call the North-South divide the M4. That's pretty bloody generous as far as I'm concerned. If it's above the M4, it's the North.
That's a Yorkshire accent, you monsters.
Yeah. It's all northern. Is Yorkshire in the North? Where's Yorkshire again? Serious question.
It's where Slink's from.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, so north, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if that was like Anglia kind of way, Is Anglia still a place? I don't know.
Did you do geography?
I remembered the important stuff. I'm going to carry on building this PC now. I'm either being applauded or slayed in chat, and I don't want to know what the answer is.
Teltac, Graham, how are you alive?
What do you mean, how am I alive? By being in the south?
When I pass my driving test, I'm driving down to stab you and then leave.
Well, Teltac is a... oh, no. I was about to say Teltac is a betrayer, but then Teltac has Northern Heritage. You have Northern Heritage, don't you, Teltac?
He was born up there, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause I was going to say you're a betrayer because you should be a Southerner, but I think you might have been born in the North. So obviously we obviously didn't flush that out of you sufficiently. I need something else to talk about because I'm digging a very big hole here. This shovel is so enormous, I could keep going, you know. So I'm hooking up the motherboard cables at the moment, everyone. We're building a PC. This is a tech show where we talk about tech.
Absolutely. Or at least things somewhat tangentially related. The societal implications of technology and the interactions therein.
I'm always worried about the direction of this show. I'm just like, if people enjoy it, that's what matters. Right, HD audio.
Yes.
Oh, we've got no low spot here.
Yeah, you've only got one.
Yeah.
There's two.
Yes. Yeah.
Again,
Oh,
on the
that
bigger
works.
one.
Yeah, that
I mean,
works.
you could use the bigger one. You have got it sat over there.
Oh yeah, we do, don't we? God, how many of these sodding things do I have? Where did that one come from?
That came from the guy's computer.
Oh, that's
which
right. Yeah, we
swapped out.
Yeah, swap that into some other case a while,
Yeah.
ages back.
I think that was your first YouTube live stream.
Yeah, that was one of the early YouTube live streams. Yeah, because I had like 700 viewers on that one kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was massive. It was just one of those like completely unplanned and unexpected journey streams. You know.
Mm. Two guys upset the North. I doubt the Northerners are concerned about us, to be honest. We are probably below their mention. Two guys learn geography. I'll have you know, I can tell you where Kuala Lumpur is. That counts as geography, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, but you just had a face of abject panic there. Like, oh God, he's going to bring up a map and ask me to point.
I don't.
He's going to ask me which state of America this is.
No, I'm more just like my frame of mind is just like, do I need to get this on topic? Do I need to be doing something else right now, or can I just be like, just build the computer, Graham? That's all you got to do is just build the computer.
Vodafone are offering 900 in some northern cities now. Interesting.
Some of the cities have got really great plans. I was talking to some friends who are down in Portsmouth recently, and like they can get like gigabit internet for like 30 quid down there.
Yeah.
Because there's loads of weirdo small companies that are laying their own fibre.
Yeah.
But out here in the sticks, it's BT or go home.
Yeah. And like you've got that in some parts of Bournemouth and things like that. Like there were parts of Bournemouth that had gigabit up-down connections like 10 years ago.
Mm.
And just things like that.
I'm going to reposition. Switch to a different camera angle for a change.
Very well.
You know what? Credit where it's due. The microphones are still going.
Yeah.
They've both been reading as 0 battery almost since we started. My one started out on 0. Your one started out on red.
Mm.
And they're both still going. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I've no idea what they report the runtime as, but...
The runtime on them is supposed to be 7 hours.
Oh, really?
So obviously, we generally recharge them between shows, and our shows are about 3.5 hours. So in fairness, they should be capable of doing 2 shows without a charge. And they've done 1 show, sat for 2 weeks, and now maybe they're going to get a second show in. So yeah. I wondered what you were doing there, and then I saw your eyes on the preview, and I was like, there it is, you know. Let's go for that. There we go. I'm just going for a different view at the moment, just so people can see while I put stuff into this computer. You guys give off electric vibes. I'll take that as a compliment. Is Caradog just randomly staring into the camera now?
Every now and then, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, right. I am going to...
I think the depressing thing about getting gigabit broadband is just how slow most websites are.
Yeah.
And just like how much of the browsing experience is waiting for the 40 gigabytes of JavaScript to
Yeah.
time out, and waiting for the 5 days of DNS queries because it's trying to do tracking scripts up the wazoo,
Yeah.
and just all of that stuff.
All of the
And
all
it's
of the
just like,
cookies depress me.
yeah, and it's like the fastest, the best thing you can do for faster broadband is use uBlock Origin and block most of this stuff. Magically, your connection feels 10 times faster.
Yeah, in a way, it leads into a bigger conversation about the problem with funding the internet these days. Because, like, I wanted a direct download link for macOS Ventura earlier on because I need to download the installer package to make a bootable flash drive, and because I'm downloading that on a laptop that doesn't support it, I can't do that through software update like I normally would. And so I Google searched for download macOS Ventura, and one of the links that came up was like OSX Daily or something like that. I'm like, OSX Daily, oh yeah, I know them, I've heard of them. Go to them. The website is just riddled adverts everywhere. Anywhere that is not the text for the main thing, adverts, and all just really gross looking. Like they weren't like not safe for work adverts and stuff like that. It was a cut above that, but it was still just a horrifying number of sleazy adverts, and I'm like, this is what Web 1.0 has been reduced to now. It's the only way these websites are surviving, it seems.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what my point is with this. It was just an observation I made.
Yeah.
When you say,
it's really hard.
Yeah. And so when you say, they're having to load up all of this JavaScript and all of this nonsense, and I'm like, it's because of all of the adverts and the tracking, because that's how they make their money. And like, it seems problematic that that's how they have to make their money, Oh, hold up a sec. I'm going to plug that in because I think that's why this isn't dropping into place.
Also, you might actually be...
Oh, that is plugged in, yeah.
You might actually be mashing the optical drive.
Yeah, I'm up against the optical drive and the VRM heat sinks at the moment, and I'm trying to figure out...
Because obviously you can drop the optical drive down.
Yeah, we might actually have a mounting problem here, because this case is an old design and the rails are central to the case, which is actually super bad because it means they don't actually clear anything. Modern cases, the rails will be offset to the outside to solve this problem. So yeah.
Again, obviously my experience is with the bigger one. And obviously it's a physically larger case, so there is just so much more space. Yeah.
Right. Can I make this work?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a very difficult question to kind of answer, is how do you solve this? Because I'm as guilty as the next person of not paying for each website I use.
No. I mean, we've never paid for the internet, have we? And yeah, I don't know.
I'm just kind of...
I don't know what I expect the solution to that will be, because I don't want to pay for websites. I'll pay individual content creators, but I don't want to pay for websites,
Yeah.
And
like, I guess my question is then, what's the difference between an individual content creator and a website with 4 content creators on it?
Exactly that. And so, I would be willing, and like my method for mostly paying for content creators is that I support a few people on Patreon, but I'm on like the $1 tier kind of thing. But I don't mind that because I know I know from personal experience and from talking to other people that having lots of $1 tier patrons does add up. It's never a waste of time to be on someone's $1 tier. However, also though, like my method of supporting a lot of creators is by virtue of the fact that I have YouTube Premium. And I also know from looking at YouTube analytics that a YouTube Premium viewer is worth significantly more than a ad-supported viewer. To put things in perspective, YouTube Premium accounts for 10% of my YouTube revenue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm pretty certain that 10% of YouTube viewers are not premium. I don't know what the actual number is, but I'll be amazed if it's 10%.
Oh, I forgot. I meant to... Yeah, I need to contact YouTube and just be like, yo, why am I not getting the benefits I should be getting? So it also just to a degree surprises me that Alphabet haven't come up with a single subscription that just gives you every single premium feature across their entire suite of companies, kind of thing. You know, all of the Google stuff and all of the whatever the hell not Google is, but is still what we'd call Google stuff, and so on, and just kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
To a degree, but yeah, it's also like, because I know there was the whole thing about Google potentially, or YouTube, whichever, you know, entity specifically you're referring to, reducing access to the 4K option to paid people only. And I'm like, to me, that makes a lot of sense still.
Sure, yeah. I've got no issue with 4K being a premium feature.
Just because I can't actually see where it's that much of a benefit in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But it does then require Google to up the bandwidth on 1080p and 1440p. And just kind of stuff like that, you know. I feel like if you were going to restrict it, you'd need to tweak other bits in the chain up, increase the bandwidth on 1080p a bit, increase the bandwidth on 1440p a reasonable amount, increase the audio bandwidth thing, stuff like that. So tweak those bits up a bit, just so 1080p doesn't look awful.
Yeah.
Because 1080p still does look quite awful a lot of the time.
Yeah, it does. It bothered me great. Normally it doesn't bother me a huge amount, but it bothered me very recently when I did the video for the Insta360 link, and by extension, all of the videos moving forward. I think the last week's video, so the Acer Nitro that had the dead CPU, and then this week's video with the voltage injection, those are the first two videos I think that I've published where the overhead cam has been the 360 link. And including the review video, there were a few people who, including yourself, you messaged me and said, hey, was the new video shot on the Insta360? And I said, yes. And you're like, I couldn't tell. And I'm like, man, if you saw the raw footage, you'd tell. You'd see it night and day. But man, and this was really bothersome in the Insta360 link review, because for me, when I was looking in editing, when I was looking at the raw footage side by side, the difference was night and day. But by the time it got to YouTube and the YouTube system had mangled it, the difference was far less noticeable. And I'm like, man, like, trust me, guys, it's a lot better. But once it's gone through YouTube, you lose so much. And it would be nice to have an option that doesn't do that. But then I guess that's what 4K is for, right? You know,
to a degree, yeah. And it's just
going to get more screws.
Difficult. If you need long ones, there are long ones on the table.
No, I need shorter ones actually.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. You've still got the fans on the bottom.
Yeah, because I've gone low mount fans because I can't be bothered to move them.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah. But it's like, I've been watching the vast majority of my YouTube stuff at 1080p, and that's at 1080p on a 55-inch TV that I'm sitting, you know, what, 90 centimeters from?
Yeah.
110? Sort of things, you know, so sitting reasonably close to it, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's fine. It's not that much of a difference, but it's also a case of, because I kind of do it because I'm watching it 2x, it's a case that a lot of the time I'm not really paying that much attention to the specific video from a quality perspective.
Yeah.
It's a case
You're
of
more listening to the content. Yeah. Like, I would value...
It's also the thing that bewilders me is just how much YouTube butchers red. Because it's like, I noticed that on your voltage injection video. The red text looked awful.
Oh yeah, that really annoyed me. Because there was a comment on that video.
I meant to say. Yeah. And forgot.
Yeah. Someone did actually leave a comment on that saying, next time don't use small red text. And I'm just like, when I made the graphics in Fireworks on my PC, it was crystal clear.
Yeah.
By the time it hit YouTube, it was butchered. And so, like, lesson learned for next time. But yeah, man, it looks fine in the edit, but by the time it hit YouTube, it was completely butchered.
Yeah.
I was really annoyed about that.
Yeah, it was just a case of I completely forgot to say that.
Yeah.
You basically cannot use the color red on YouTube.
Yeah. In fairness, I should have looked at my own upload because, you know, there was a draft version available pre-release on that video that I could have looked at for quality assurance, but I'd spent like 2 days editing that video, and I'm like, no, I'm not watching it again.
Yeah.
I just want this video to get out now, you know.
Yeah. Do you make use of YouTube Music?
I do.
In the sense of a streaming platform as opposed to a library of music?
Well, my
sense
primary use is I listen to music on my phone when I'm walking to and from work every day using YouTube Music.
Yes, but do you say play this album from my library? Or are you going through and generating the radios and things like that and discovering new stuff?
A bit of both.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do routinely just specify an album that I want to listen to because I'll be like, I want to listen to this today. However, sometimes I do let it randomize, or YouTube Music does propose playlists, and I'll look at that playlist and be like, "Oh, that looks cool. Yeah, I'll listen to that."
Yeah.
And occasionally I do discover new stuff from it. Not very often, but that's not because they're bad at. They do pitch a lot of stuff at me, but I'm a creature of habit, so I don't very often. Even if I listen to something by someone I don't know and be like, "This is nice," it's a lot of effort to me to actually be like, I'm actively going to get my phone out and save this artist so I can listen to them, kind of thing. That's quite a big step for me.
I don't know. I just find that I miss Google Play Music's radio because I found that the Google Play Music radios worked so much better than the YouTube Music radios. And I don't know. I just find that they seem to be far more of a miss than they ever are a hit.
It depends. It depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes, if I've listened to an album and we've reached the end of the album and I'm not on repeat, so it starts just going into random whatever is on up next. It will start wandering off to just a general mix of everything I listen to. And that's a terrible idea because I listen to a huge mix of music. So when you do that, there is a very strong chance that something completely inappropriate is going to come up. Like it'll transition from you know, down-tempo trip-hop into gent metal or something like that. And I'm like, these are two completely different genres. These don't belong on the same playlist, you know. These are both things I like, but I was listening to trip-hop. You don't transition into metal from that, you know. However, if I've specified one of their radio mixes of, you know, chill mix kind of thing, it generally stays on chill stuff. And even if it's moving to slightly different genres, it's still a chill genre kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it still lands with me.
I think just the issue is for me, it's a case of it's not specifically the genre clashing or anything like that. It's just the fact of the songs are just songs that I go, nah, this is crap. Don't like this. Don't like this. And I find maybe either it will play stuff that I have already listened to before, you know, and it will just play me stuff that is regular played stuff on my account.
Yeah.
Fine, that works, because I like all of the stuff that's on my account, and I can mash it all together, that's absolutely fine.
Sure.
Or, if it's trying to do inside the genre stuff, it just seems to play the stuff that's not inside the genre, remotely related to the actual title of the genre.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you seem to have missed completely here.
Yeah.
And it's
the other thing as well that makes this slightly tricky for me to weigh in on is because most of my music listening these days is when I'm walking to or from work, and as such, I'm usually only listening to 2 or 3 songs a day at most. I generally don't listen to musical playlists at work these days because when I'm at work, I generally want to have background music radio on, like Lo-Fi Girl or something like that, because anything else I find distracting that I want to pause when a customer comes in or the phone rings. Whereas background music like Lo-Fi Girl can actually stay in the background and does not distract me when I'm trying to focus on a conversation, for example. And this kind of makes me sad because it means I don't really listen to a lot of music. I hate to call... it's not that I don't want to call Lo-Fi Girl generic, but sometimes I want to listen to something that's a bit more engaging, if you see what I mean. But I don't really make the time for that very often.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad, just because now and then one of my friends will message me or a friend group saying, "Oh, so and so's got a new album out," or something like that. You know, like Enter Shikari have got new stuff out since I last listened to them, and I just not listened to any of it.
Really?
Yeah. I think they've only got a couple of singles. It might be on their YouTube channel or something like that. But you know, yeah.
Oh, is the last time you listened though Hospitalized?
No, I've listened to whatever the newer album was, but I think they've got some demos out or something like that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know,
because I was going to say, I remember me saying to you, "Oh yeah, they've got an entire new album out," and you're just like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, Hospitalized came out like 5 years ago, and then there's this one." And you're just like, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah. What was the album with Dreamers Hotel on it?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
so I'm literally just looking it up because I can't remember.
Because that was the last time I was engaged. Even then, I've not actually listened to that album through. I've heard most of the singles from it.
God.
But no, it didn't super land with me.
That album landed with me.
Oh, really?
So good.
Yeah.
But like all of their stuff is a solid 9 for me.
Yeah.
Like every single track.
Yeah.
Every single track they've released for me is a solid 9.
Yeah.
And I find it hard to pick a good one out of them because I'm just like, everything is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't. Yeah, there's I guess an EP. No, it's just titled a single called Bloodshot. Bloodshot. It hurts. Please set me on fire.
I almost feel like that's the disposition of Rue Reynolds now, because, like, let's remember how prophetic Enter Shikari have been. You know, like. They were doing stuff like Arguing with Thermometers over 10 years ago, and you could play you could put Arguing with Thermometers on the radio now, and that would be cutting edge current events. And it's like, this song came out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you know,
nothing is true and everything is possible.
Yeah. Anyway,
so much. There's just, Enter the Rubicon from Nothing is True and Everything is Possible was probably one of my most played songs for a while. Like, I just randomly put it on and just, something about it was absolutely a massive vibe for me.
This is fair.
Yeah, Lo-Fi Girl is very interestingly licensed.
Yeah.
Just, it's weirdly not copyrighted.
Well, they're their own music label.
Yeah, but just like the way that it's all being done is...
Yeah.
It is, though it is copyright-free music, but obviously it is.
Yeah, it is copyrighted music, but they provide a free license for people to use it under their conditions, which is very clever because it means they can continue to be prolific everywhere they go. And to answer that,
I was going to say Nikolai already answered the question before I even caught up.
Yeah. I've not listened to Synthwave Boy yet, but I very much want to tune into it at some point, because that, like, modern synthwave is potentially my jam at the moment. It's just difficult to find continuous content of it. But like synthwave, yeah.
Oh.
But like also, I think The Midnight have got a new album out that I need to listen to. And the last time I was really into synthwave kind of stuff, I was listening to The Midnight. and but yeah, they just didn't have a huge amount of content. So I need to check out their new stuff. We're on very, very niche genres and albums at the moment, though. So you know.
Yes. Have you heard of minor key conversions of major key songs?
Oh, I've heard of this. I've got a friend who's super into that kind of thing. Not my cup of tea, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Minor key country roads. What?
Mhm.
I need a link to this.
Country roads, take me home, or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah. Let's see.
The
Firephone
Midnight.
said CCR. I don't recognise that one. Fleetwood Mac. I've always been a Fleetwood Mac fan because my mum listened to Fleetwood Mac, and I'm a big fan of a lot of the music my mum used to listen to, which is why I like Fleetwood Mac's Simple Minds, Level 42, Genesis, the guy from Genesis, Phil Collins. Yeah. So yeah.
Also, Creedence Clearwater Revival for CCR.
Never heard of that one, I'm afraid. But then on the other hand, I'm quoting bands like The Midnight, which a lot of people probably are not familiar with at all. So, you know. But yeah.
Did CCR do Have You Ever Felt the Rain? I can't remember. That's probably, if they did it, then they're the only one. That's the only song of theirs I can name. But yeah. Oh no, that was CCS. Never mind. CCS did a whole lot of Love cover as well.
Well, I say off topic, but on a tech topic, Orun says, do you guys ever use anything like GPay or NFC stuff? Yeah, I use Google Pay for everything. I pay for everything with my mobile phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, top convenience. Like, I carry my cards with me still all the time.
I haven't actually. I don't carry a card.
Yeah, I kind of do it out of habit because also I always have like a couple of fivers in here and stuff like that.
I don't carry cash either.
Yeah. However, I find myself very like my phone is so reliable at this point that I'm very much coming to the point where I'm like I might stop carrying my cards on me.
Yeah, I haven't carried my cards regularly since December-ish 2019, January 2020, about then. Yeah, I've just
one of my
just used contactless.
My personal card gets crabby with me now and then when I use it in small shops. But then on the flip side, even then, if I flipped over to, and usually at that point I take out the real card and that works. But also I could just switch to like the business card and that will work instead. If one doesn't work, the other will. So it's, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like I've been using Google Pay since 2010. And
yeah, you were super early to the Google Play party, weren't you?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a story behind that or something?
Yeah, kind of. I was early enough to that party. Hello.
I'm not just. I'm doing this just so we get a more top-down view into the computer, by the way.
I was early enough to the Google Pay party that I was getting paid by Google for buying stuff using Google Pay.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Yeah, weren't you getting paid like an obscene amount of money to use it?
Yeah, at one point it was a case of it was $10 a transaction.
Jesus wept.
So they were giving you $10 of transaction of credit per transaction for each one you did. But it was a case of like this was before contactless payment was built into debit cards.
Yeah.
This was before cards even had it.
Yeah.
So like the only people who had PDQ machines that could take it were McDonald's and Greg's. Like, they were the only people in the country.
Yeah, so
and
you got paid a lot of money. It was just finding someone who would accept it as payment.
Yeah, and like, I don't know if this name will mean anything to anyone, and I'm probably mispronouncing it. But there was a website called Modico.
Okay.
That was part of the early Windows Mobile custom ROM scene.
Yeah.
Yes, the Windows Mobile custom ROM scene. And there were like forum posts on there of people who were obviously into this. They were sharing the referral links and the credit links and so on to get people more free money and stuff. But also were saying about shops in the UK that actually supported this contactless payment.
Mm.
And just like people were going around hunting shops to spend their money in sort of comment. And it was just like, But yeah, it was wild.
Also, yes, that is a Sabran M.2 case. After way back when I did a PC build with my buddy Kyle, we made a joke in that video about Sabran M.2 SSDs coming in really nice boxes, and how it's nice that it came in a nice box, but like, what are you going to use that box for? You're just going to store your M.2s in there? You just sort of like, oh, hold on, I'll just take out my M.2. Just like, no, you wouldn't do that. And someone in the comments after seeing that joke said, oh, it makes for a good card holder. And I was just like, so it does. And I've used it as a card holder ever since.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's wild that it was a case of like getting paid a large amount of money to use a service like that, but just finding places that would accept it, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was funny, but no, it was the thing that, 'cause I didn't pay much attention to it because of where I was working at the time. There wasn't anywhere that was, feasibly close enough to do it. And then I moved office, and the office was effectively directly opposite a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And like people in that office got McDonald's basically every day.
Ah.
So like I would just go into different groups, and I would just go buy the McDonald's and then get paid by Google for having bought the McDonald's. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's just thinking back at stuff. I was looking, I saw it on TikTok, someone saying about, I want people from the early 2000s and the 90s to tell me stories about their time in the 90s and the early 2000s in IT. And I was thinking, Christ, when I was working back at HTC compared to now... When I was
a young man. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, but it's a case of I'm far enough back now that the stories of the stuff that were happening then with smartphones are things that are weird today.
Yeah.
I've already gone through that entire generation thing.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Give me an example of a wild thing.
I don't know specifically on the wild front, but just kind of like devices being bought from mobile phone networks and then being branded different phones. So like you'd buy the orange SPV, but you'd go to O2 and you'd buy the XDA. But they were still made by the same company.
Yeah.
But they were called different things on different networks.
Yeah. Do you still get network branding on modern mobile phones?
No, because as far as I'm aware, Ofcom made it illegal.
Ah, okay, yeah.
You cannot buy a locked phone.
Yeah, because like it used to be the norm that you would buy like if you went to O2 and bought a mobile phone, you would switch on that phone and it would be like O2 kind of thing, and that was just an O2 phone, like it. So yeah, but then I think in a way the rise of the iPhone helped break that significantly, because obviously Apple were like, no, absolutely not. You're not doing that to our phones. So I think that helps break that.
But also the other thing as well that did that is the fact that 3 never sold network locked phones.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of the reasons why I liked to be on 3.
Yeah, they were always unlocked.
Yeah.
All of their smartphones were always unlocked. I don't know if their feature phones were, but certainly, and all of their HTC phones, they had a branded firmware, but all that was branded in it was the network preferred roaming list. It was actually just the generic open market HTC ROM, just with the network specific, obviously, modem driver, effectively.
Yeah.
And it was a case of that was the only change they made, and it was just like bits like that were just really very good. Oh God!
Nice,
and then Tesco Mobile with its stupid sodding double network locking.
Double network locking?
Yeah, so it was double locked to Tesco.
Yeah.
So you could network unlock it from Tesco, but it would be then locked to the O2 network.
Oh God!
But then you'd have to then unlock it from O2. And just stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was just, horrid.
Gross.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, am I right in saying that just locked phones are just not a thing anymore then?
As far as I'm aware, they literally cannot be sold and haven't been able to be sold for like
That's good.
8, 10 years.
Yeah, because I've always been uncertain about that because it's not been something that I've had to worry about in a long time because I'm a Hutchinson 3G fanboy kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I just always use 3 as my network. So it's not something I've ever had to worry about. But now and then people ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. Try putting another SIM in it and see if it works.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, all UK phones have to work with all UK networks as of like 10 years ago.
That's good because that was a racket at the end of the day, wasn't it? It was nonsense. I think it was mainly just because it was kind of in question as to who owned the phone, if you see what I mean. If you're paying monthly for your phone, who owned the phone, you know? But yeah, I get. It's also in the same way that, like, it used to be that if you got a smartphone and you were paying £50 a month for it, obviously a large amount of that is paying the cost of the phone. But if you didn't do anything, you would just pay £50 a month indefinitely until you cancelled the contract. Whereas now, once you have paid off the phone, your contract payment automatically drops down, doesn't it? Is my understanding.
I think that the answer is a technicality one. As far as I'm aware, most of the networks have moved over to having a airtime cost and a mobile phone purchase agreement cost. But they are put together as a single total monthly amount. So when you get to the end of the period of time paying off the phone, the amount you pay each month goes down because the phone monthly payment amount obviously just disappears.
Okay, yeah.
So,
but they might still stab you for other things just to catch you out, kind of thing.
Perhaps, but probably not. But it's kind of a case of, yeah, it's a technicality. Oh, interesting. It's only becoming actually banned from December 21.
Oh, really?
Interesting. Or only became banned from December 21.
Yeah,
interesting.
That is very recent then, yeah.
Yeah, but it was just a case of, oh, yeah, no, it was as I said, they, Ofcom made it so the networks had to unlock for free once you had completed your contract.
Yeah, the free unlocking that was understandable because, because at that point it was a case of if you've paid the contract, as far as anyone is concerned, is that the phone is now yours, so they have no right to hold it to ransom per se.
Yeah, basically.
Was the rationale behind that? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and obviously the question on ownership is a difficult one, just because it depends on what you mean by ownership.
Yeah, I've opened a can of worms with that question.
Just because obviously it's a case of it comes onto the definition on contract law and on finance arrangements and so on. It depends on the wording of the finance arrangement and things like that. Because it's also, with a car on finance.
Who owns the car?
So if you've got it on PCP, are you the owner of the car? If you've got it on contract hire, you're certainly not the owner of the car.
Yeah.
You are the hirer of the car. The hiree. The hiree of the car, sorry. No, hirer. Yes, you are the hirer. Sorry.
Wouldn't the car itself be the hiree, the one who is hired?
No.
Okay.
Because it cannot be a thing, if that makes sense in that sense, because it is not doing.
Yes. I'm looking at this purely in a facetious way.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I'm looking for a clever joke here, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to go vertical with this again. I think I've got all the components in here now. It's just a matter of wiring up in a way that doesn't.
Have you screwed things down so they won't fall out when you lift it up?
Yes. Thank you for your concern.
Excellent.
That would be very, very funny if I lifted it up and everything's really.
I mean, it would be like the one time where the motherboard hadn't actually been screwed in and it just went goodbye.
Yeah. That would be very on brand. Yes.
Yeah. What a lovely dish of screws.
Do you want to angle the camera up for me? Thanks.
Can I just click on the thing and it move a predefined amount?
Yes, it moves a tiny amount when you click on it, yeah.
Yes.
So you can do small corrections. It is reasonably intuitive.
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely. Ah, the Micromart magazine. That was certainly a period of time in UK computer magazineage. Because I was a regular reader of that and a regular commenter on their forum.
Huh. Very well.
That's where I got into folding at home. Was
Yeah.
from that forum and just stuff like that. Yeah, it was interesting. I found reasonably quickly that I'd massively outgrown its target audience. But then I found that with basically all of the magazines reasonably quickly. So I remember years and years ago, I went for a weekend away with my parents and went to Bath and walked past a Future Publishing office that did PC format.
All right,
I was just like, PC format office. What?
Yeah.
Because just like
That's a thing that I know.
Yeah, but it was also kind of a case of I was at the age where stuff didn't physically exist, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like just because I saw the magazine, it didn't mean it had a real office.
Yeah.
And like I went past it, it was just like, oh, things exist.
Yes.
So yeah, it's wild. And then just, yeah, I remember, I think it was PC format, or it might have been Micromart, had a thing where if you subscribed for a year, they gave you like a free hard plastic CD holder, like a hard CD wallet or something. It was like, how very early 2000s.
Yeah.
What do you mean there's no R in Bath?
Barth.
No, it wasn't object permanence, Teltac, you spoon. You spoon. You absolute pleb. I remember trying to go through some tutorial from one of these magazines one day and just being like, the hell is this? The hell is that? What's this? And just being so incredibly confused as to what was going on. Just, yeah, and I think this was on some HP desktop, like actual desktop format PC.
Yes. Yeah.
Way back when. It's being like, I don't understand any of these instructions. I'm going to go play Neopets. Goodbye.
On my Nintendo DS.
What?
I don't know. Where do you play Neopets?
This was before the DS had come out.
Okay, yeah. Well, what did you play Neopets on then?
Internet Explorer 6.
I see.
Well, actually, I played on the AOL browser.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. It would have been Nintendogs on DS, I guess,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Who was it? Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was Chris who used that that insult where he said, "I've got Neopets accounts older than you are," and I was like, "Oh my God, that's such a burn. That's a magnificent burn."
And the problem was, I worked it out and was just like, "Oh shit, I do." I have Neopets accounts older than Spud.
There we go. If Spud ever steps out of line, we know how to get him.
Yeah. Oh dear.
What a nostalgic day this has been.
Ah, dial-up. Man.
All right.
And then there being just kind of the explosion around that time as well. This was just before Facebook. Well, this was a reasonably long time before Facebook, actually. But just the kind of fringy social networks that were, trying to be big and popular, like MySpace was before Facebook took over, and just kind of all of those.
Yeah, I was never on any of those. Yeah, I was still.
Like
I was
Bebo.
Yeah, I was never on Bebo. It was Bebo was.
Friendster.
I remember. Yeah, I don't know much about Friendster. Bebo was a near miss for me because I was too old for it when it came in. However,
What?
well, at the time when Bebo was a thing, I was working at a prep school as the IT tech, and all of the kids there were on Bebo.
Oh God.
However, so this would have been.
I feel like purely by association, that instantly means you can't be.
Well, yeah, I think like there was. If I'd been there for long, because I didn't work there for that long. It felt like a long time, but I think I was there less than a year actually. But I think if I'd been there long term, because I know the sysadmin had an incognito account there, just so he knew what the word on the street was per se. And I think like if I'd been there long term, I probably would have made a incognito Bebo account in order to just, know what the kids are up to on the internet, kind of thing. But yeah, as I say, this would have. Oh, when was this?
About 2006.
Yeah, maybe 2007, something like that. The first Intel Macs had just been released during the time when I was working there, so that you can easily date it from there, because Mac were literally transitioning from the G5 to the Core Duo, not to be confused with the Core 2 Duo, at that time, because it was around it. Yeah.
God, that was the second computer I built myself, was the Core 2 Duo.
Right, am I going to connect up this? Yeah, we'll connect up this DVD drive.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the cable tidying now. It's getting to the point where it's getting increasingly difficult to do stuff that gives a interesting camera angle, because it's just now a matter of just plugging in the last couple of wires.
And MSN Messenger.
So in fact, I'm just going to come off of Benchcam now because I'm just going to start turning this around.
MSN Messenger.
Yeah, man, I spent a lot of time on MSN Messenger.
I remember breaking people's brains with having MSN Messenger on my phone.
Yeah, I had that briefly. I was using a third-party app to do it because I had I was a Sony Ericsson kid at that point, and I had MSN Messenger on my phone, but because it was going through, I think it was going through WAP at the time, or something like that. But because it was a always on connection, it just rinsed my battery to have it connected. So it's like I could connect to MSN Messenger from my mobile phone, but like leaving it active would burn through my battery in a matter of hours, kind of thing.
Yeah, it just sort of stuff like that, and yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting time.
What blows my mind, and what I would be very interested to know about, is the fact that in Japan, instant messaging on your mobile was a thing years and years and years before it was in the West. Which is why, there's lots of and including, like maybe video calling as well, because like if you look at an anime like Initial D, for example, in Initial D and some of the similar things in there, they had people on each corner of the mountain road that these people were drifting their cars down, you know, providing a live feed of the cars as they came around the corner and instant messaging and stuff like that. And I think that was real. I don't think that was science fiction at the time. That was just stuff they had in Japan.
When would Initial D have been?
I don't know. It might be later than I'm thinking.
I'm going to do a Google then.
Yeah, I keep thinking of Initial D as being a late 90s, early noughties anime. But it might be a lot newer than, like, I might be sort of... But then also, Initial D is probably an anime that has had, like, modern releases as well, so I'm not sure.
Ran from 1995 to 2013.
Wow, that was long.
And adapted into an 11-part... hold on. No, it was a magazine. It was a manga between 95 and 2013.
Manga. Yeah.
And it became an 11-part anime series, commonly known as First Stage, in 1998.
Yeah, so yeah, very late 90s. So,
1998 would be too early for that, just technologically.
Yeah.
Certainly to do video. To do live video, yes.
Yeah.
Because we literally didn't have the... I mean, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I think Domoko was the first 3G mobile phone network. Actually, that might have been 2004-ish. No, must have been earlier than that. 2002?
I mean, the first time I had a phone that had a selfie cam probably would have been when I had my my Sony Ericsson M600i, which was the precursor to the Sony Ericsson P1, and that would have been 2000. That would have been 2008, 2009.
No, Docomo launched their first 3G network in 1998.
So it could have been possible. There could have been people.
Oh my god! What? Good lord! That's like 4 years earlier than I thought it was. That's wild.
Yeah. So you could have done a live video stream.
Just about.
From a mobile phone.
Yeah, yeah. In its 240p glorious.
Yes.
In its glorious 3GP.
Yeah.
Formatted. Man.
If I had £1 for every pixel on this screen, I'd have 10p, you know.
Yeah. Good lord. Yeah.
That is 25 years ago. No, AAA, the 90s were last decade. We've been through this. Okay, right. I don't know what we're talking about on this stream anymore. What's the timer at? 2 hours 37 minutes. I'd ask myself, how has it taken us 2.5 hours to build a PC? But this is Two Guys Talk Tech, so
yeah.
You don't come here for the PC building, although I'm not sure what you guys do come here for.
Sorry, I'm just reading this and just kind of going, oh yeah, I remember all of this stuff. But also just being just like, what? Madness. But yeah. The first pre-commercial 3G network was launched by NTT Docomo in Japan in 1998, branded as FOMA. It was first available in May 2001 as a pre-release test of WCDMA. The first commercial launch of 3G was also by NTT Docomo in Japan on 1st October 2001.
I see.
So yeah.
Whoop. Stick you in that. Right. I'm nearly there, I think. That's going to go around there. Cool. It's surprisingly tight in certain places, this build. It can take 2 AIOs, but it was not designed for 2 AIOs. This was from that weird era of cases where they had the size and the space for radiators, but they didn't really. They kind of put screw holes in there, and we're just like, good luck, anyone who actually wants to use these.
Why are you struggling?
I'm putting the SATA connector
right.
into the thing, yeah. All right, that's all the power hooked up. So now we just need a SATA cable from the optical drive, and we're basically done. No hard drives going in this thing. It's all M.2. And it's, yeah, it's not super tidy, but because it doesn't have a power supply shroud, there's not, yeah, it's kind of a utilitarian build, this, so I'm not heartbroken about that. Right, I'm just going to run that straight down there, yeah.
I come here to derail you and pester you about things you haven't done, like reach out to the PCB manufacturers, probably.
Yeah, I've got one that keeps reaching out to me, but the problem is that I can't remember what happened when we last spoke, but I said words to the effect of, oh, you know, I'm interested in working with you guys, but I need to come up with something that I need to get printed, kind of thing. I'll reach out and find some designs, and they kind of made noises along the lines of, we need it to be something that you're making or something like that. And I'm like, I don't design PCBs, you know. So yeah, that's kind of stalled because I need to actually. I mean, I guess I could just say, yeah, sure, I'll make something, and then just not, and just dare them to say otherwise. Ugh. I don't know if there's any useful money in it though. Like, I'm not sure if they're really offering me, like, yeah. Sometimes with the sponsor offers, it's very difficult to actually nail down what exactly they're offering and what they're at. You know, it's very difficult to nail down. Like, are you guys offering me a cash payment to feature your name, or are you offering me a free sample of your service? Because if it's a free sample of their service, then that's cheap and easy to get. But also, I don't particularly care because it's not expensive either. I'm interested in free samples when it's something that I otherwise cannot afford or would not buy. Yes. Or rather, I would not be willing to buy. Which is why I'm very interested in working with Insta360, because I like their products, but they're out of my price range, you know.
Yes.
Try Manscaped, yeah.
But the content and a second keyboard for me.
Yeah.
They will send you a free keyring.
Right, there's the back panel for this. I think I'm closing this thing up. I think everything's in there.
Good. There's a very specific age of Corsair case that has these thumb screws.
I think most of them do. I don't think they've changed them.
And it just, I don't know, it feels like they have because the knurling's different.
Oh, okay, yeah. That would probably change.
Yes. Learn to solder PCBs. How do I make this PCB? 2 PCBs.
All right. Yeah, I'm not in love with the cabling in here, to be honest. However, this case doesn't need to look pretty anymore. But then on the flip side, though, it looks kind of funky just because dual AIOs, you know. Like, yeah, so like there's a lot of stray cables kicking around in here, but dual AIOs, that's kind of cool. I've not built a system with dual AIOs in it before. So yeah, that's kind of got a unique spin to it. Right, let's stick that on the front. What now?
Oh, Dave Weldon. I've just had a 5-minute session on ChatGPT about the potential of making an atomic bomb using bananas.
I see.
I must use a centrifuge to refine the potassium out of my bananas. Ah, supercritical bananas.
AIO's coming for all of our jobs. Right, that's that. Lay it down. Right, I think we're going to make sure this posts. It doesn't have an SSD in it, so we're not
Yeah,
going
it
to.
does.
Does it? Oh, has it got the Landlines SSD
Yeah, it's
in
got
it?
the Landlines SSD.
Oh, that's
in it.
fine. Yeah, so it'll boot then. Yeah.
See, I was prepared.
You were.
I came ready.
I mean, I knew you would, but
I wonder at which point Graham regrets these streams.
it's not that I regret them. It's just part. It's complicated because part of me is just like, why does anyone show up to these? But then to think that manner is to. I feel like thinking that way disparages people who enjoys this content because it implies that I think that this is bad content that should not be enjoyed, and that's not what I want to do. If people enjoy this, then that's great. However, I'm just perpetually of the mindset of I need to do better kind of thing. So it's really complicated.
I can confirm that there have been viewers.
YouTube control panel looks really screwy there. And it's just like, thanks, YouTube control panel. So yeah. Very good. You enjoy this content? You're very funny and informative. Thanks. Everyone stroke my ego and make me feel better. I do enjoy the content. Thank you very much for the compliment. Because this is the problem. I can't make a joke without disparaging someone's opinion now. You know, because when I was just like, thanks, I'm like, I don't mean that sarcastically. I'm glad you're having a good time, and I'm glad that I've managed to brighten your day.
Oh my.
It is a prestigious gift to have brightened someone's day.
Oh, that's where you're going. You're not saying that it's a prestigious gift for people to be here and witness this.
No, I'm trying to do the right thing here, Caradog. I'm trying to be gracious. Did we decide that the HDMI port did work on this graphics card?
No, that's why there was a DVI adapter.
Yeah. Okay. So did we test it and discover that it didn't work?
Well, I plugged in the HDMI and it didn't work.
Okay, so yes, we tested it and it didn't work. Okay, right.
The adapter was connected to the end of this cable before we went live.
I unplugged it.
Where have you moved it since we went live?
I've moved it here. Good, yeah. You're lucky I just found it, otherwise I'd have immediately blamed you. All right. Right, power, display, keyboard and mouse, we'll use this one. Keyboard and mouse. Good, right. We haven't got capture set up, but I'll just take our word for it, you know. Activate! Right, it's bloody loud. However, that's solvable. The postcode counter is doing stuff. Oh, it's posted first time. All right. Hang on a minute. I'll... direct the camera, Caradog.
Oh no.
Behold. It works. Look at my immense display of skill, for I've built a computer that starts up.
Look at it. Observe.
I didn't mean to put that can right in the camera shot there. That was not deliberate. Good. Dirty shop. Yes. It's a workshop. There's stuff here. All right. Oh, you were the last person to log into this one. It's a good thing that comes up with Caradog Brody and nothing else.
Well, yeah, that's what my account is.
Okay.
That's what my name is. It's who I am. Who else would it come up with? John Smith? John Cena? Anyway.
There was an attempt. XMP and BIOS and stuff. Let's double check that, actually. It should be okay, because we haven't reset BIOS. But yeah, we'll just quickly check that everything there looks okay. I don't know if this is in XMP at the moment. This has a four memory stick kit in it that gets crabby If it's not in XMP, I'm not going to try and XMP it. Because I know when I put this memory kit in there, I had issues with post. But it's a 4x4 kit. It's a 4-module 16 gig kit. So it's one of those, and it had issues. Yeah, we're not in XMP, but I had difficulties getting this kit to post, so I don't care. It's running 2133. I have no intention of trying to change that because if it falls over, I'm going to have to spend half a day dicking around getting it to post again. So, good. Great success.
Excellent. Ah yes, potatoes, carrots, and bananas, all potential candidates for my atomic bomb project.
I see. Good. Right. So the next thing to do now is we now have an empty 220T, and I was going to put that stuff in the 220T. However, we're coming up to 3 hours. We do not have time for that. So that's a job for another day. I will probably do that during the week, to be honest. I don't think we can make another stream content out of that because, yeah. I mean, we could, but I don't think we need to.
Yes.
It was not my intention that this would take me 4 weeks to get done, and it's taken me 3 weeks so far.
Indeed.
Anyway, right. God, that's going to need some fan control.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll need to figure out how I'm going to do software control of that. I might need to install Cam as well as IQ on this to have everything under control. That's not the end of the world. Cam isn't that heavy duty. I don't mind having Cam installed on here to manage the GPU. So yeah, good. All right, I think we're done.
Fabulous.
Kids PC upcoming. Yep, upcoming. Right.
Up and coming.
Anything else? No. Get a cheap buck converter. I don't understand.
Cash converters.
Cool. Right, I think we're finished. I've enjoyed this conversation in English.
Yes, I have too enjoyed this conversation in English.
We're out of here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This has been a bit of an oddball episode, but we have been here, and we will be back next week with something else. I don't know what. So I'll see you guys next week, I guess, with something else.
Do the Twitch.
Oh, yeah. I think the bot is kill. Hang on a minute. Oh, give me the chat. hptwitch.tv/netthesam. Could you move the thing? You can drag it around. That'll do. Yeah, I got it right. There we go. I will be streaming on Twitch tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time. I will be playing Jedi Fallen Order, which is cool.
Barbecues next week?
Barbecues? Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know. Are we barbecuing next week?
No, I had no plans for a barbecue.
No. Air frying GPUs.
Yeah. Yes, suffice to say, I will be live tomorrow on Twitch playing Jedi Fallen Order. So I'll see you then, and we'll be back next Saturday with another podcast of something else. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Quite probably we'll be back next weekend.
Yes.
There is a possibility I might not be here.
Very well, then. Okay. Well, something will happen. Anyway.
We will let you know.
Yeah, I'll solo something if I need to. Anyway, bye for now. See you next week. Thank you for coming. Bye.
Ta-ra.